Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon listeners. It's me Sulaiman bin Sware coming back on Facebook Live. Today is the 15th of June 2022. The time just gone 23 minutes past 5 in the afternoon in Birmingham, England. And today is Wednesday. If you just a minute, let me share the video and we can start this program. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum to you all. Yes, today is Wednesday, the 15th of June 2022. Time just gone 24 minutes past 5 in the afternoon in Birmingham, England. Yeah, we here back again to put the spotlight on the Gampetroleum case. And I just want to say this before getting to the details. Give you the background. The importance of this case, the reason I'm following this case is the case is very important. It's one of the most important cases we have in the country. And why it is so? It entails a lot of entities which we should term as cartels. These are the cartels, and we know how important energy is in our economy. And it runs it's the bloodstream, the bloodstream of our economy. And we have cartels, and these cartels operate this syndicate of bringing in fuel and this, controlling the fuel storage and the distribution of fuel, and which end up getting to the consumer. And what gets to the consumer is not only about the price, it's about the quality. Even the quality of fuel that gets to the consumer is corrupted by this cartel. And by corrupting the quality of fuel, this is it's a health risk. Not only that it affects our vehicles, but the pollution from this practice affects our health. This is one part of why is it important. The other part is in order to move forward, we have to deal with corruption. And the corruption that we have to deal with, the cartel are the backbone of this corruption. And the cartel belongs to every tribe. The cartel belongs to every background. It's not about a tribe. It's not about an individual, because these are interest groups. And the cartel are so powerful. They are now to determine who govern us. Because of the money they can accumulate, the influence they can insert into public in order to make sure the Gambia thinks of or do things in a way to change the narrative. That's why we have this narrative of tribe. That's why we have this narrative of divisions based on many things, religion and other things. Because mainly there's a cartel controlling these people. We should have to understand the importance the cartel play in the destruction of the country. And now that's the way they end up using the proceeds to buy the press, to give crumbs to certain individuals within us that carry their messages, that go and do PR for them. To the extent of buying religious leaders, to the extent of buying civil society organization, to the extent of buying influential individuals in our society. This is what they do. And in order for them to have the person they want to be the leaders, or the person they want to be a leader, and the person to appoint the people they want in the strategic positions that will benefit them. And when we look at the Gampetroleum case, this is exactly what it represents. It's exactly what it represents. We are not only seeing the people mentioned, there are so many people part of this that we cannot even get to, in fact, to mention. but we are calling off the head of the snakes. And you will see that how much they influence our politics, how much they influence everything else that run in the country. Then for people to understand this is not a personal thing to any individual being named here. They are only named because of the role they play. And now it's up to the courts to find them guilty. But it's up to us too to put interest in this, to make sure things are done right. Because, as I said, I am not confident with the case going on, because of there are so many people to be brought to this court, but they are not in this court. One of those very important person to be brought to this court is Abbacarr Jawara, but Abbacarr is coming as a witness. For the way I looked at it, people like Abbacarr all should have been brought in, as part of the problem. They are not victims. They take part in the syndicate. They are part of the syndicate. They understand that it's a syndicate. And now they are the total sector would have needed to be revamped to get to the root causes of everything. And in order to do that, that's why we needed a receivership, an independent company that would have received the business. Under a receivership, a total auditing of the operations of the sector should have been done. And in order to bring out the recommendations and to show that that place could be reformed, and that standards would be put in place, so that the operational orders would be fit for purpose, and things would work out. But no, the same issue has been going on, and from Yaya Jammeh days with Basi, and it went on, and Barrow came and realized the amount of money circulating, and Barrow, and obviously the cartel were already there, and the cartel went on board Barrow from Dakar. They bought him from Dakar because they know how lucrative their businesses are. They bought him from Dakar, and when Barrow came, started to look into how to have control over it, instead of looking at how to make the entity work well for Gambia. Now they have succeeded in Barrow controlling this entity, and the cartel continue to do what they do. Now, if two people are convicted, is that justice? No, that's partial justice. That's selective justice. The justice should be all culprits to be taken to the justice system, and the justice system to decide their fate. And again, for the justice is for make sure these things are not done again. The cartel to be dismantled and make sure things operate well. This is what we should be looking at. That's for our interests. And this is why I am interested here. Right now, if we go through mechanisms, we should understand what Gampetroleum is. Gampetroleum is a very important entity in our economy. This is where the heart of the operations to deliver the fuel, the petrol that is needed for electricity, utilities, that is needed for vehicles, that is needed for any operation, for agriculture and anything else. This is the heart of the operations for our aviation fuel. For anything else that requires fuel, it comes through Gampetroleum. Gampetroleum is technically owned by the people. Yes, it's called a private enterprise, but it's owned by stakeholders who are from the state-owned enterprises. Apart from Social Security, which we call state-owned enterprise, but Social Security too is owned by pensioners. Let's make that clear. Social Security owned by pensioners. But the rest of the entities are Gambia Ports Authority and others which belongs to the people. The only time now we have a private, a foreign company, it's so-called Star Oil, brought by Barrow into the game. When it was Basi's shares were to be sold, Social Security saw interest, GPA saw interest to buy these shares. And any government, sensible government, or government that wants the interests of the people should have made those shares to go to these entities, go to government, or at least a Gambian-owned company. But no, they looked at the interests of them And probably, I'm not saying that's happening, probably Barrow is a silent partner in Star Oil. Because the way Star Oil came into the game. Now, directives sent out there to ensure Star Oil is sold these shares. This is where wealth will be generated. But now that wealth is repatriated to Senegal and Mauritania. Yeah, the owners of the company claim to be Mauritanians, but we know too they have Senegalese citizenship. They carry both passports. And then their background even need to be questioned. They end up doing that now. This is what Gampetroleum is. Their business is to receive. They don't own the oil. They are a storage facility. All they do to receive the oil, their responsibility is to maintain the facilities. Their responsibility is to look after the safety. Their responsibility is to account for fuel being brought in by major oil distribution company, literally 3 companies, and those and to be the person to look after this fuel to make sure people authorized to access the fuel access this fuel. That's their role. Their role is not to sell fuel or anything else. This is the background of this thing. We are going to look at the testimony of Abbacarr Jawara. It's quite a lengthy one. And in that testimony, I was mentioned in this thing. I've not even still read in detail how I was mentioned. But I have many people reach out to me. And Abbacarr Jawara himself is trying to reach out to me. And I said that to him that whatever I put in public can be tested in public. Or if the person is not satisfied, the person can take any action they feel that they want to take. Because I stand behind anything I put in public. And if I happen to make a mistake, I will not feel big to come out to admit to a mistake. But until it's proven to be a mistake, I stand by my position. I am not doing it for anything else, but for the transparency to open up a conversation, for Gambians to hold ourselves to account. It's not personal. It's not an easy thing to do. Abbacarr Jawara is just realizing that he is connected to people I am related to or I have relationship with. But every other entity, every other cartel name here, I'll tell you that I am either related to them or I have personal relationship with the family members. Now, if I am to be quiet about one of the entities, how can we have any genuine conversation in this? And we can see why is it difficult for major organizations in the country, press organizations in the country, to go into detail of this case. What they do, they will partially come and report the court proceedings. But you will not see them dig in because they don't want to offend. Some of them are bought, some of them are compromised, they are censored by relationships and other things. Now this is another problem we have in the country. That's why these problems are continuing. The cartel are getting very powerful. I know a lot of people that interact with Abbacarr Jawara. Some of them are not blood relatives, but they are relative by virtue of intermarriage or friendship or other things. And Abbacarr thought I have something against him. Why would I? Now, Abbacarr has spoke to certain people to reach out to me. And some of those people said that I am arrogant, they cannot. And I know those people themselves. The reason the word arrogant is used is they cannot buy me. They know that they will not even attempt. They are not stupid enough. They are not crazy enough to try to come and induce me or try to induce me for Abbacarr. They know that. But they cannot turn around and tell the truth to Abbacarr. They will tell Abbacarr that Jawara is arrogant. People that know me know that I'm not disrespectful, I'm not arrogant. But I deal with people according to the way they deal with me. But that's why I want to tell Abbacarr Jawara to be careful. If he's doing his business properly, I don't care. And I would even support him Would I be care about support him if he is doing his business properly? But we will not expect to operate in a manner that he does business unfairly, taking everything from other Gambians or other people, business people, because of the relationship he have with the president, the relations he have with people appointed by the president. Some of those people that he makes sure that they are appointed. Because some of these things, because of the money he gives to these people. And expect people not to talk about these things. And he end up winning contracts that he don't have the expertise. He doesn't have the experience or even the financing to get into this business. In the sense, end up where the quality, service delivery, and everything affected, and our economy get affected. For what reason should I be quiet? Then this is the reason I am talking about him. And I never knew him. I would have never known him if he was not in this business in the manner he is. Does not mean that I can speak about everyone that's corrupt in the country. No, I am limited as a human being. I will even improve if I had a platform, which I am working on to have a platform to improve, to cover a lot. I am doing as much as possible to cover. I am not selective. I am only selective strategically to be impactful, to take things which I think is more of a priority, to deal with it to the extent I can and leave it there. Just as in the case of Batambedu and the $50 million, which I have worked on for years and have put it very clearly that the money is out there. Now, it's for the victims and other people to take it from there. I cannot go and force the Gambian government to give the money. But I know that I've put the pressure so much so that it have come to the public domain. Very clear that Senegal gave us 50 million. Now it's for other organizations, other individuals to force the Gambian government to make sure they give the 50 million to the victims. That's what I can do. This is the same thing I operate. And it's not only Abbacarr. Jigo is someone, and I mean others. I'm calling these two people because they are very worried. Abbacarr have gone to the extent that he said all the PR he is doing, I am the only one who is, denting his PR. I am spoiling his image and so on. There are few people he approached, and they approached me respectfully to want to know my position on this or this. I said, look, you guys know me. I have no personal things against anybody. And this is my problem with Abbacarr. If he's not doing it, I would not have bothered. But it's not that I am going out there to ruin his image. If he wants to make his image, he cannot think that he can buy the press, he can buy individual influential people going around buying musicians or buying tickets for whatever it is, thinking that will make him a good person. No, he has to be real. He cannot keep on ruining Gambians' life at the same time thinking that he can come out with a PR to cover it up. That's what I am against. Jigo, to want to be the good guy behind the scenes. And I'm saying to him, I'll tell you, same, I am related to people who are related to Jigo. I am related to people who are related to Jigo. And let me say with Jigo it is anyway, Sheikh Omar Jigo, the chairman of GNPC, chairman of many other entities. Everybody knows his relationship with Barrow. And I know his relationship with Barrow before Barrow becomes Barrow. And a lot of other things. But Gambia is not yours. And Gambia is no one's. It's ours. You guys don't want to be mentioned. And go out there. Whatever I put in public, go out in public and debunk it. If you think that I am not treating you fairly, talk to me directly. Or go and debunk it. Or take me to a trial, a court. Anyway. Because you don't have the nerves even. But probably you don't know me. You cannot threaten me. Threat doesn't work with me. Go and ask Batambedu. Threat doesn't work with me. In fact, what you do is to motivate me to carry on, because then I am touching a nerve. And I am not doing it personally. I've never met you. I have no interest in tarnishing your image. Everything I put out there are facts. When I put these things last year in November, around November 6th, they came out. The evidence are coming out. I've shared the text message with Khadija and Abbacarr, very clear of how this deal was consumed. And that's why exactly what I explained. Then go and look at my timeline. I am not into business of selling information. I'm not into doing anything for fame or anything else. It's for the facts. And because of this syndrome of people around you guys will not tell you the facts. You cannot keep on doing these bad things to Gambians and want to keep a good image, want to be an Alaji, a Jaratu, and all these kind of things, and to be seen in public as a good citizen, to be important people. No. You are not important. The only reason you are not behind bars is because of the society you live in. In any civilized society, all of you people belong behind bars. You would not be celebrated. You should be ashamed. People should come out and shame you people for the way you live your lives. But no, it's the people we put on respect, it's the people who build the biggest building. I have nothing against people that work hard and achieve what they achieve. I applaud them if they choose to live their life that way. I'm talking about people who are in public office, people who are in the private sector, people who are within us, who are doing criminal activities, but are not identified as criminals because of who they are or who they related to, or what position they hold now. If Barrow goes tomorrow, another government, you come and see what's happened. We have been here before. And until we take accountability seriously, we are not going to get out of this. And I keep on telling these people, if you are on top of the cliff, know that when we all fall, you hit hardest because you are right on top. If that country plunges, those that are higher would hit hardest. Because I'll tell you one thing, if you even escape and run out of that country, you become a refugee. And it becomes more difficult for you to accept yourself being a refugee. Ask the people who became refugees after Jammeh. It's not easy. You have to adapt. You have to do a lot of other things. But if you didn't, the worst is even if you stayed in the country. Your properties, your family, yourself will be a target. This is not a threat from me. I'm telling you history of Ivory Coast, history of Sierra Leone, history of Liberia. You can see it, and history of every other country that went into this, went through this. They will come from the slums, from the ghettos, and they will go to the suburbs where they think. And the sad thing is everybody will be a victim. The whole country will be a victim. The poor people will be victims, rich people will be victims, and who people are rich or wealthy through their own hearts will not live in peace. Right now, people are not living in peace. The thieves will not come to say, oh, this is a criminal's house, I'm going to boggle there. No, they look at it's affluent house. Is the house vulnerable? If it is vulnerable, they come in. That's all they do. You walk in the streets. If they see you in rags, they will not attack you. If they see you with a Rolex and a mobile phone, S330 or whatever, they will attack you. This is what don't make sense. Now, if you guys work for God and work in the right way and keep our country the way it is, you think I'll be here to go after you? You think it's about envy? This is the fact. The country is just going down. We have seen it in Lebanon. Lebanon was more liquid than any other country you think of. There are many economic crashes that happened. The last one that happened about a decade ago, Lebanon was not affected because of the amount of liquid cash in that country, because of the repatriation of profits from Africa, from South America, from everywhere else. The wealthiest Lebanese even don't live in Africa. They live in South America. Argentina, Brazil, and others. Mexico and others. They pumped it. But where did it end up? The country now is bankrupt. Corruption doesn't pay. We have seen it in Sri Lanka. Corruption don't pay. We will end up being destabilized. This is why it's important to follow this case. And I will continue now to go onto the case. I needed to put this out there for context of what it's all about. I just don't want to come and go to the proceedings. I wanted to come a few days ago. I was very busy. I was not feeling well that much. But again, I did not have the transcripts. I was waiting for the court transcripts. The reason I'm going to the court transcripts, I don't want to go through the newspaper reporting. The thing is, it's kind of a very compacted. It's just a summary of what have happened in court. And if I go through the court to deliberate this program and go through the newspaper reporting, what will happen is I will use my opinion too much on it. And I might prejudice the case, or what I do will be unfair to to what I am deliberating. And I don't have a group here that I am supporting. I am supporting the facts. I want to bring out the facts. I want to make sure government take interest in this case, and I want justice to be served. But as I said, as the case is going, it doesn't look like that the state is putting up a good case against the two. Does it mean that the two are guilty or not? No. The case is not being presented well because of the selective justice. I explained the same thing happened with the Solos and Den case. The same thing happened with the fisheries case. When if you did not do it right, to try to get everyone involved, to investigate it right, what will happen is it might bound to fail to prove this case. It's a criminal case. It's not a civil case. Now it has to be proven beyond reasonable doubt. And so far it's not been proven. Remember, what is to be proven here is a case of theft. First, corruption or theft. And in theft, what we have to prove is that the person have an intent to take something that is not lawfully his or hers, to deprive the owner of the property permanently. This is what have to be proven. And if that to be proven, we have to prove that the person have taken whatever is accused of, and he was not authorized to take it, it's not his, and he have taken it, and the manner it was taken have to be proven, and then the intent would be how the proceeds were being used. This is very important, and so far that's not been done. Now, they have so much witnesses. I could not go through all the witnesses. As I said, the transcripts were very late. I wanted to take one of the other witnesses, which is Mr. Sise from the inspectorates of the Pura, but unfortunately, because of time constraints, and I take it that Abbacarr case one would be more interesting here because of Sise to whatever he was going to bring out. There's a kind of a little bit of interesting point I've seen that needed to be highlighted on. But if I have time, probably tomorrow I'll do that. But today, to bring out the Abbacarr case, because to understand some of the allegations better and to see how it's been presented to the courts and how it's been cross-examined by the defense and to see what impact it will have in this trial. We start this thing by me reading from the transcript shared from the courts, and transcript from the courts, and this is the first day of testimony for Mr. Abbacarr Jawara on the 7th of June 2022, and the state versus Sehu Drame Alam Gazama, and the state is represented by MB Mbalo, and the defense is represented by C.E. Meni, B.S. Conte, and P. Bankuren for the first and second accused persons. Cross-examination of PW7 Abbacarr Jawara. And this is the testimony. Tell the court your full name. Abbacarr Jawara, I live in Fajara and I'm a businessman. Do you know Gach Global Trading? Yes, it is my company. What does Gach Global Trading do? We produce tomato, tenders, and a lot of things. Do you know the accused persons? I know them during our business transaction. Can you tell the court how you got to know them? Then the answer is, I know them from our tender at GNPC. When the tender was out, I bought the tender document. I took the document to do some bidding. After the bidding, inside the bidding, I needed the throughput agreement from Gampetroleum as the tender requirement asks for it. Someone told me about Lamin Gazama. I did everything to meet him. I told him that I need the throughput agreement. I asked him to see how best I can get it. He told me that I can get it. My company and GP should have an agreement. When I told him, he said he will go back to the office and talk to general manager. After speaking to the general manager, he called and said they are ready to give it to me. Then I told him, when can I get it, as the tender was due 2 days ahead. He said I can get it within the limited time. I called him back and he said that everything has been sorted, but it's the general manager who should do the signing. After some time, I did not hear from him, and I called him. He said he was going home to see if the general manager has signed or not. For some time, I did not hear from him. I called him, and his response was that the general manager has not yet signed the document. Only a day was left for the closing of the tender. I requested for the general manager number, because all this time I had never seen the general manager. Then he agreed to give me the general manager's number. The day the tender was done, about 8 or 9 a.m., I called Sehud Vame. I called him and told him my name is Abbacarr Jawara and the name of my company is Gach Global. He said he had had my name and that has done part of his education in Gambisara, my village. Then I asked him whether he can speak Sarahule, and he said yes. We spoke in Sarahule. He told me, I told him that my file is in his office, whether he has seen it. He said he had seen my document and that my submission will be done by 12 noon. I asked him whether he can sign it, and he said there is no problem, he can sign. If he can sign it, he will give it to my driver to bring it to my home. So he signed the document and gave it to my driver, who brought it home. Yes, this is Abbacarr Jawara explaining how he knew the two accused persons. That's Sehud Vame, the general manager, and the manager for operations, Mr. Kasama. Then the prosecution continued to say, prosecution continued to ask this question. This throughput agreement the accused person has signed, will you be able to identify it? Yes. Let me touch on something before moving ahead. Again, we have to remember this is the prosecution doing this deliberation. Now, whether the defense is going to do a cross-examine on Abbacarr should be interesting, what they're going to bring in. But let me note this. It should be interesting to establish whether Abbacarr have gone through the right process for the tender. You see, that's why I said that the case, the way it's been brought by the prosecution, is one thing. If Abbacarr is part of a problem, we have to establish whether he's a part of the problem or not. And I have proven, because I have seen the text messages that Abbacarr shared with his then agent, Khadija Kebe, how they went around to get the tender done, which was technically insufficient, illegal. Bribery was involved, cohesion was involved, and the GNPC was compromised, the president was compromised. These are the things that Gambians should be interested in, and which the court is not bringing out. Whether the defense is going to bring it out, I don't know. But that's why I am here, to bring those things out for Gambians to have a context of what the case should be. That Abbacarr himself was not fit for purpose to tender or to win this tender, or he have won the tender unfairly. Now this have deprived other lawful Gambians access to do business. And Abbacarr have used his relationship with the president, and the relationship with the president is based on corruption, because in the text message, in fact, Khadija Kebe have made it to Abbacarr, yes, the president will need to help you for your campaign money, for you to help him with the campaign money. You see, one. Two, Abbacarr said that he went and have an hour discussion with the president about the tender with GNPC, and the president have promised to speak to Jigo, who is the chairman of GNPC. You see the collusion there. Now, these are things that needed to be established, are not established yet. I hope the defense would. That's why I said we need to bring this up before we move ahead. Now, It continued to say, take a look at the throughput agreement. Is that it? He said yes. We applied tender the throughput agreement between GAC Global and GP dated the 2nd of July 2021. Court. Any objection? The prosecution had previously tendered this document as Exhibit P2, and I think it's before the court. No objection. Court. Throughput agreement between GP and GAC Global is admitted as EXT extensions P73. Malo. Prosecution asked this question again. Tell the court what happened after the throughput agreement was brought. Then Abbacarr answered, the document were brought to my home, filed and sent to GNPC. When it was submitted around 1 p.m., were open. So some were open. I did the bidding with PSTV. Now he said should be they said PSTV. The bid was only between PSTV and GAC. PSTV. My document was 65 and PSTV was 40.8. My discount was good for the tender committee. After some days, I was given a letter and I was notified that I won the tender. Okay, this is very important. He's saying that he put the tender at that time, at the last minute, and now he won the tender against PSTV. And PSTV, if you know the facts behind it, I think they in fact import fuel, and they are a bigger company. Abbacarr have never import fuel, and again there's evidence which I shared that Abbacarr did not even have the financing to finance the operations as a marketing company, because of the property he took, one of his properties, shopping mall he took to take to his, the bank, Vista Bank, for the amount that he wanted. Vista looked at the property and said, no, your property is not valued to that amount, we are not giving you that amount. Technically, he could not even raise this amount. Now, how can Abbacarr bid lower price compared to someone who can bring in petrol? Abbacarr have not proven to bring in petrol, and you will see the trouble he will going through. And he have bid lower than the even market price. Now, let me tell you something. Why do they do this? They do this bit lower, and after technically, they will renegotiate, which is completely wrong. Or, you know the fuel that the Chinese are buying from NOIC, the burn out fuel, and they burn it again. That fuel is coming back to the fuel system and delivery system. I'll tell you that. This is one of the practices. I'm not saying that Abbacarr did that, but I'm telling you, probably he does. But I'm telling you, most of the fuel in the Gambia is polluted by this. Not only that, the industry experts will tell you, not only that it will happen in the Gambia, some imported fuel would be mixed before it gets to the Gambia in the high seas by born fuel from McDonald's and other fast food companies. That this fuel are took into there are companies in Europe now taking all this fuel from restaurants and trying to rewash it. That fuel is sent again to the to countries like Gambia, or to the coast of the Gambia or Africa, and they would use these companies and put fuel in it. If Gambians remember the company called Trafalgar is part of that bring fuel here. The same company years ago, about almost 20 years ago, dumped toxic waste in Ivory Coast that killed so many people and harmed so many people. That's why it's important for Gambians to take interest in this case, because any toxic this thing into that fuel, we are bound to breed that, and it's going to affect our health. And why now people can go and even to bid lower than market price, that begs to ask the question, did this guy legitimately offer a price that is going to deliver the quality of fuel we have? The same practice have affected NOIC, that NOIC machines are grinding to halt because of this bad fuel they paid for at premium price. The same thing is affecting Gampetroleum pipes because of the amount of sulfur. This sulfur is a chemical they put in the fuel and to enhance the fuel, and that amount of sulfur is so powerful that it's corroding the pipes, and we have seen the environmental damages. These are the reasons why we should be interested in this case, and not to think about this case just on what is at the courts. We should ask the government, and politicians should have, civil society should have, the press should have whole accountability to make sure the entire industry is regulated and is functioning right. But it's still in the hands of the cartel. Let's continue. He explained that the documents were brought to his home. He explained that he won the bid. Let me see where I stop. Okay. He made his price he said, when I won the tender, the price of oil changed at the international market. I told the first accused that during my discount, the price of oil has now changed, so I should advise from the first accused. He told me we can meet and discuss the issue. I told him to meet me at my factory, and he came. Then we discussed on a lot of issues, how to deal with the business. Now this is very interesting for Gambians to know. Abbacarr, as I said, the price was reduced. I've not read this document before. I refuse to read it so that I can just organically get into details. I don't want to fix an opinion. Now, Abbacarr is telling us that this is the problem when you don't have the expertise. There's a reason traders put their prices at certain, so that when there's a shock, what we call a shock in the markets, you absorb the shock. You don't peg the prices in a so low that when a shock you have a problem. This is something, again, GNPC should know. If someone said that they are going to give you this price, you should really ask the question, how can you deliver this? What would happen tomorrow if the prices go up? Because that's the nature of the business. If there's a blockage by Iran, prices go up. If there's a cell being fired into Saudi Arabia, prices go up. If something happened in Venezuela, prices go up. Something happened in Nigeria, prices go up. Now, why should GNPC accept the lower bid? That's another way of telling you that these tenders are just screwed. Now, he's saying that he found out now that the prices have gone up. What did he do? GNPC doesn't, Gampetroleum is not selling for. Now, if he goes to Gampetroleum to negotiate price, why he's negotiating price? That's why I said he should be dealt with as a suspect, not as a victim. He went into this deal with his eyes open. He went to the deal with his eye open. He said that he went to say that, oh, this has happened to me. Why didn't he go into GNPC and say that this is happening, I have to put the price up? He have not tell us yet. Now, still remember that he have not tell us that he have imported. He have not imported because he have not even been a bit to import. Now, why did you give it to someone who doesn't have a product? Now he's going around starting out for products. Now, how can we just not blame GNPC in this? How can we not hold GNPC? The board should have been dissolved and upright people should have been put in the board. GNPC is ours. Now, if Gambians don't want to see that, that's where the problem is. Accountability is lacking. Now, he said that he invited, spoke to Shehu, and Shehu said that something can be done. And he invited Shehu to his factory, and they had to discuss on various issues. What are those various issues the prosecution should have asked? But let's say whether they're going to ask. He said he asked Shehu for advice. And they discussed various, various issues. And I told him to meet me at my factory, and he came. Then we discussed a lot of issues. How to deal with that business. How to deal with that business. He said that the discount I gave to GNPC was not a good discount. I told him that I have a company that is outside the jurisdiction, and it was from the court that I gave the discount. He told me he has people in Senegal that have offshore fuel, and he will introduce me with those people. He will talk to those people who will see how best they can to help. One day I went to Sehu's house with my agent, Kapi, and one Senegalese whose name is Abbacarr. Now, look at this. How can anybody genuinely think that international fuel price are gone up, that anybody can give you lower than international fuel price? How can that happen? Why would anybody give you lower price? This is a business. Then Abbacarr must have known that there's something not right here. I cannot go and have a discount here. I cannot have a discount lower than the international price. And if Abbacarr said that he have a company outside the jurisdiction of the Gambia who promised, he could have gone there to negotiate then. That was a lie. He didn't have a company. And the prosecution should have what was the name of the company, and to bring out any invoices or any transaction that he had with the company and tender that. That's the way we should find the facts. That's the way we should find the facts. But the prosecution know that Abbacarr is lying. The prosecution know that Abbacarr was in a deal, and Abbacarr is part of a cartel. But they will not hold Abbacarr accountable because his relationship with the president, his relationship with NPP. Let's go on. And he continued to say, he told me that he has people in Senegal, Okay, he went on to say, one day I went to Sehu's house with my agent Kapi and one Senegalese whose name is Abbacarr. Now he went to meet, he said his name, his agent Kapi, and a guy called Abbacarr to Sehu's house. Now, why doing deals in people's houses and factories? Why not go to GP? And again, GP does not sell fuel. And if he is in the industry, he should know that. That's why when the industry is regulated, people like this should be taken out because they should know the do's and don'ts. Why did he go to Gampetroleum to make a deal? Now, if he accused me of saying that he went and took stock from Gampetroleum and that causes shortage, I was right. Because he should know that the petrol must have come from Gampetroleum, or likely to come from Gampetroleum. Now, how would I know that it's not from Gampetroleum if I knew that he is dealing with Gampetroleum and people in charge of Gampetroleum? Where did I lie about him? Let's go on. Hey, what is the name of your agent? He said, Khadija Kebe. Who is Kapi? He explained to say, Abbacarr Jawara, he is my nephew. Remember again, during my reporting in November, I talked about Kapi. Why Kapi is not on the docks? Why Kapi is not on the docks? Let's go on. You see the nepotism. You see the nepotism in the system. Abbacarr Jawara, he is my nephew. Yes, what happened? He continued, Abbacarr continued. When we went to the house, the Senegalese was representing ADAX. Okay. He said the Senegalese was representing ADAX. The first accused introduced me to the Senegalese and told me that I entered the business not long ago so that the Senegalese will advise us on how best to run the business. Now, Sehu introduced him to ADAX, according to this, a Senegalese guy working for ADAX. The Senegalese told me that how I did the business was not good, but all he can do, he will assist me. I think this was in August. The Senegalese said he will assist me till December to see how it will go. After December, he does not think he can help. Guys, again, who will genuinely think that this Senegalese represents any entity that is genuine, that will go to people's houses to make break deals? How can this Senegalese give him a price that others will not be given? Either the petrol will be substandard, or the petrol will be non-existent, or the petrol will be somebody else's petrol, taken without permission. That's my conclusion here. But let's see how it's going to turn out to the courts. He said that he will assist me. I think this was in August. And go and look at my deliberation on this, and you see my timeline is exactly as I said it happened. What time was this meeting? He said it happened before I signed the tender with GNPC, which was Sunday afternoon. Continue. 1 minute, my understanding from, because I'm reading directly as it's written, my understanding was that this thing happened after he won the tender. Now he's telling us this was before he won the tender. But is it before? Did it happen after he presented the tender? Probably it happens right after presenting the tender. That's how we knew that the price given was bad. Yes, continue. Then we left the meeting and he promised to call me. I told the first accused that Khadija Kebe is the agent because I am someone who travel a lot and my agent will be to go between my company and Gampetroleum. Okay, Abbacarr is saying that he is doing business with Gampetroleum and Sehu is the general manager and Khadija Kebe would be his agent in this business. Now, is this establishing that yes, Khadija Kebe is working for or working with Abbacarr, but not working with Gampetroleum? That's clear. I think the convenient place to stop, and that testimony stopped, and we are going for the next testimony. Okay, the following, the continuation of the testimony, Mr. Mbalo, the prosecution went on to ask, yes, you told the court you met the first accused at his house with Kapi, a Senegalese, etc. What happened next? He said, after we all left the discussion and we had what we had was verbal. There was no agreement signed. After a week or more, I had nothing from them. After I called Sehu, if he has any solution, we discussed on some solution. It happened that sometime when I call the first accused, I don't get him directly. Then I asked Kapi if he can make arrangements so that I can meet Sehu. I went to Sehu's father's house in Fajara. We had some discussion there and Sehu told Kapi to supply me with some fuel. Okay, now this is interesting. This is interesting. Kapi is Abbacarr's cousin or nephew. Now, Kapi came into this discussion because of Abbacarr brought him in. Abbacarr took him to Sehu's house. But now Sehu giving directives to Sehu, Kapi to give fuel to Abbacarr Jawara. Now, why is the prosecution not interested on where did Kapi get this fuel from? And why did Sehu have the authority to ask Kapi to give fuel to Abbacarr? And Abbacarr is related to Kapi. Why did Abbacarr did not just go to Kapi to get the fuel? Gambia, you see, this is the problem with this case. The prosecution are not prosecuting this case, right? Many people should be brought to this case, and now if this case lost, we don't blame the judge. We don't blame the judge. We blame ourselves, in fact, letting the prosecution get away with this. Let's see. He continued. He continued. I went back, okay. And Kapi, Sehu told Kapi to supply me with some fuel. Before the arrival of my fuel, before his arrival of his fuel, Kapi informed Sehu that he can do that for me. Now, Kapi have agreed to do that. Where did Kapi get the fuel? Okay, we discussed together, but in the end, it did not materialize. That was another verbal agreement. You see, now, Abbacarr is just running like a headless chicken, going around looking for fuel. The guy doesn't have industrial experts. The guy doesn't have the means. Why did he win the bid? Why did he win the bid? Is that fair to other people who are into the business who can win the bid? He went on to say, I went back to the first accused there. I told him I had no fuel and I had to supply GNPC some fuel. Now he is still going out back to Sehu. He's still hustling Sehu to give him fuel. Where does he think Sehu is getting fuel? Sehu can only give him the fuel, or should be able to give him. And I say should be able to. If he can do something else, then have to be proven by Sehu. But as far as I know, he's a general manager and general manager of Gampetroleum. If he's doing a private business, that should be explained to the courts. I went back to first accused there, and I told him I had no fuel and I had to supply GNPC some fuel. There was no contract signed between myself and GNPC though. I won the contract. Guys, he said there's no contract signed between him and GNPC, but he won the contract. I was on the preparation so that anytime they needed the supply, I will be able to, I will be on the alert. Okay, he's preparing himself to be on the alert when they need the fuel, but he have won the bid, he have not signed the contract yet. I traveled in between. I had a call from GNPC from one Sehu Jammeh who told me that before the contract is signed, I need to supply 300 metric tons of PMS and to GNPC. I told him to wait for some time before I respond. I called the first accused and my agent, and I told them that before the bid start, I need to supply GNPC 300 metric tons of PMS. Now, we have to remember he did not tell us why Capi did not deliver the fuel he asked for. Now again, he was ready to receive the fuel from Capi, but still he have not signed on a contract. But still now, GNPC have come on to ask for 300 metric tons of PMS, and now he's gone back to Sehu to try for Sehu to help. Now, and Sehu and his agent, that's Khadija Kevin. What did you tell the first accused and your agent? Okay, he answered. GNPC said that it is a restricted tender. GNPC asked for an invoice. Others were also asked for an invoice. There I asked how I should give invoice and how I should also give supply. This is why I called the first accused. He said it is possible. He then said that the tender I won, the discount I made was too much. Many. This is now the defense asking the question. I have a challenge with the interpretation. Probably Abbacarr was speaking in local language, which was not made clear to me from this thing, but it seems as he was speaking local languages. And many jump to say that he have a problem with the interpretation. And the prosecution went on. You told the court the discount was too much. What happened? Yeah. They continue. He told me the discount for the bid was too much and that I should give a new price and put in an envelope and an invoice and send it to GNPC. Okay, so who told him, look, your price is ridiculously low. You have to put in a new bid, new price and put it in an envelope to send it to GNPC. And now, what should GNPC do with that now? Should they go back to the second preferred bidder? Or should they maintain this bid? But you know they will maintain this bid because of Abbacarr Jawara. Now he went on to say that that invoice was for what product and how much. He said PMS and its amount was $238,000 US or so. And what was the quantity for the invoice? 300 metric tons. Tell the court what happened next. There I told my agent to go and discuss the amount to give them. What happened? After a few days, I had GNPC took it to GPPA for approval with some other invoices. Now GNPC has to wait for hearing on payment from GPPA. Now, you see, again, he is not telling us anything else and what did GNPC reacted on the increase of price and so on. This is what we needed to know. Why GNPC just agreed to the new price? Were they convinced and so on? They didn't to be known. But he said they forwarded to GPPA. And remember, GPPA was headed by the first cousin of Barrow. You see, the cartel, this is the way they move. You see, that person was put on GPPA to ensure that whatever they want to go through would go through. Now that person now is moved to be head of Social Security. And now Social Security have the biggest share in Gampetroleum. Don't be surprised one day you hear that Social Security shares have been sold to Star Energy or Star Oil. Don't be surprised to hear that. I'm warning that from now on. And remember, Gampetroleum is under is mortgage, and we still did not determine who is mortgage to. And I can tell you that if we find out, we'll find out it is mortgage to a cartel member. Let's move on. And what you heard from any? Did you hear from anybody after the invoice was with GPPA? There, I heard from GPPA, and I was told that I can supply to GNPC per the invoice. Shehu Jammeh from GNPC called me. What happened? I called the first accused and informed him that they have agreed to the price I gave to them, and I can supply. The first accused and I discussed about the first tender, and it is that if they supply me with 1 liter of fuel, when my supply come, I will also repay the same 1 liter of fuel. That's the first 300 metric tons that the fuel belong to Senegalese. When I agree, I contacted my agent Khadija Kebe and told her to call the first accused for me to deliver the the 300 metric tons to GNPC, and so they did. Now, Abbacarr have said that the fuel belonged to a Senegalese. Did the prosecution go to find out how did Abbacarr find out where the fuel came out from? You see, these two needed to be was he certain? How certain was he that the fuel came out from a Senegalese stock, some owned by a Senegalese? Now, he said the Senegalese work for ADAX. Does it mean that the Senegalese took it from ADAX stock or not? This should be made clear. There's lack of clarity here, but this is what they said. Let's move on. These 300 metric tons that you said you contacted the agent to call the first accused to supply, where was it from? Okay, I had no product. It was the first accused who told me Senegalese have product and they will supply me. Where did they take it from? I don't know. First accused told me the Senegalese have product at Gampetroleum depot. Oh, good. Okay. That the Senegalese don't get petrol from Gampetroleum depot. Okay. Then what happened? I contacted my agent to contact the first accused to supply to GNPC. Now we'll see if the first if cross-examination happen, or whether the defense will bring the first accused to testify. To take this off of the records or to challenge this on records. I contacted my agent to contact first accused to supply to GNPC. You talk about an invoice. If shown a copy of this invoice, will you be able to recognize it? Is it the invoice of my company, Get Global? Take a look at it. Is this it? Yes. We applied to tender invoice dated 30th of October 2021 to GNPC from Get Global. Court, any objection? My lady, this is a photocopy, and we need to know where is the original. Court, tender invoice date 30th August 2021 is admitted into evidence as exhibit P74. Okay, tell the court after the invoice what tender to GNPC, what happened. An email was sent to first accused to give supply to GNPC. The email was with my agent. Then first accused supplied GNPC. When the agent sent the email, the product was released by GNPC. Do you have any other document? Yes, it was a form of a letter written to Gampetroleum by my agent. If shown a copy of the letter, will you be able to identify it? Yes, that it is. Balu, that's the prosecution putting this. We applied to tender a letter dated the 31st of August 2021 to General Manager by Get Global. Any objection? It is a photocopy. Apart from that, no objection. Court document admitted at the exhibit P75. Question. Tell the court about the 300 metric tons was supplied. What happened? After 300 metric tons was supplied, I told him that if JNPC pay me, I will pay back the Senegalese. If GNPC signed the tender agreement with me, then GET can start supplying. All the time I was out of the country, all these documents were signed by my financial admin. His name is Adolphe Madu. They told me that I should be present for the signing. I then told GNPC that I will sign when I return to the jurisdiction. In between, I went back to the first accused and told him that the contract is ready for me to sign. I want the people in my office to go and sign, but they said I should be present. I told Sehu, before I come to sign the contract, I want to know if things remain as it was. Now, again, it seems as Abbacarr have just docked himself onto Sehu. He is not talking about his supplies. How long does it take his supplies to come in? He is not telling the court that his supplies was a week due or 2 weeks due. But he went to Sehu again. Why is he going back to Sehu? Now Sehu have helped him, according to him, and introduced him to Senegalese, and the Senegalese have has given him, and the instructions have come from for Gampetroleum to give the 200 tons. Now that has delivered. Now he's expecting the further deliveries to come from Sehu. You see, again, this is where we question his capacity of getting into this business. And that's why investigation needed to be done and make sure this industry is regulated. Let's continue. What happened? Now I asked the first accused to give me assurance of the supplies from the Senegalese. I also told him that I must supply GNPC as they don't have fuel. On the 5th of September 2021, I told my agent to go to Gampetroleum, and my agent wrote a letter for the supply of 1,400 metric tons of AGO and 400 metric tons of PMS to GNPC. Was your instruction carried out? It should be, what was your instruction carried out? Yes, they did. Now, he went, and again, he did not wait for his supplies. He did not tell us anything about his supplies, but he went on, and the Senegalese to supply him, according to the testimony that he said the Senegalese supplied him the fuel. Yes, they did. If sold the letter, if sold the letter you said was written for supplies, will you able to identify them? Yes, yes, that is. My lady, we applied to tender these letters. Court, any objection? No objection. Court admit as P76. Tell the court what happened after the letter was written. After writing the letter, the next day, the 6th of September 2021, the supply was sent to GNPC. Tell the court what happened after. I came and I was in Senegal. My agent called me and said the first 300 metric tons I supplied to GNPC want to effect payment. That GNPC paid me the money. I will pay the Senegalese for the 200 metric tons. That they should do a bank transfer. Okay, now Abbacarr said he's dealing with Sehu helped him introduce him Senegalese, but still now, okay, now time have arrived that GNPC took the supplies and GNPC now is paying for the supplies. And now he got the money, and now he want to make a transfer to pay the Senegalese. I emphasize, to pay the Senegalese. Let's see what's happened. Get global account in Mega Bank. To who? He said to who? Get global account in Mega Bank. When the money was paid in, my agent told me about it. I told my financial advisor to go with my agent to the bank. When they arrived at the bank, they asked if they should withdraw the money in cash, but I said no. I told them that I will not withdraw the money in cash, but I will do a bank transfer to the Senegalese instead. Okay, fine. He said that he was going to make a bank transfer. They wanted to cash withdrawal. How was it? How much was it? It was $221,000 US. Who are they paying to? The Senegalese. Still now we haven't got the Senegalese name. We haven't got the name of the Senegalese company. Now for an international businessman, you're doing a deal with an individual, you don't know his name, and the individual, we cannot even ascertain, apart from the person that you met, is the same person that you deal in business with, because in the transaction, it's as, it might not be the same person. It might be the same person, but it's not certain. That needed to be grounded. But again, is the person actually the person he said it is? Is the person running the company? What's the name of the company? We don't know. Now, for an international business person, this person is not fit to be called an international business person, and this person is not fit to be given a contract of this nature. This is why we need regulations. People need a wind profile to make sure they are fit for purpose to take up business. This is a critical sector of our economy. He continued to say, who are they paying to? The Senegalese. So what happened? The first accused called me and asked me to give the money in cash because it was a little amount. Whoa. He said it was a little amount. I told him that for him, it's a small amount. But to me, it's a big amount, and that's how I do business. Great? Great? He told me that the Senegalese do get the fuel offshore, and that they have no bank account. Then I told the first accused that it's okay, since he also think I should give the Senegalese cash, then I will. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that because of say it's a small amount, the Senegalese doesn't have a bank account. Who doesn't have a bank account? Who doesn't have a bank account? Who would be dealing in business? Then that would have been an alarming bell. That should have been a red flag. No, okay, then I'm okay. Hence you say that. Should a businessman operate like that? Now he agreed. Operating from offshore people have more accounts than anybody else, because they need different accounts to operate. Now, he said he agreed to do that. I sent Khadija a voice message to Khadija that I was only paying through bank transfer. The money was given to Khadija Kebe by my financial admin to give it to the first accused. Khadija was then asked by my financial admin to sign acknowledgement receiving from him. Now he's saying that he gave money for Khadija to give for the first accused, not to give to the Senegalese. He did not say to on what to the Senegalese, but what I mean here, directly to the first accused, not directly to the first to the Senegalese. Okay, let's see what's happened. If shown this document, will you identify? Yes, that's the document. Mbalo, I applied the tender receipts from Khadija Kebe, my agent. Court, any objection? Just that it's a photocopy. Court, it's admitted as P77. Tell the court how you were able to get the voice message on your phone. Khadija wrote to me, so I sent her a voice message. Then she wrote back to me, do you have the message on your phone? Yes. And where else? Also in a USB. And where else? I think that the only places. What happened next? When we went with the money, I called the first accused, and he said the money to this and he said the money to the Senegalese. Sorry, let me read this again. When she went with the money, I called the first accused, and he said the money. He said the money to the Senegalese. I think he said that he sent the money to the Senegalese. It's not, that's I think what he said. Later, I returned to the Gambia and signed the tender agreement with GNPC. I took a mostly photocopy of it and sent it to the first accused and show him that that have signed with GNPC. Guys, I'm reading it as it's typing anyway, mostly typo errors, but I have to read it that way. Tell us what happened. He said, I told the first accused that we have signed the agreement, and that I told the first accused that my product is coming from outside the country. He said I should hurry so that when the product comes, I will refund the product that was given to me on credit by liter. Then I told him I was on the process to see how best my product can get into the country in October 2021. Now, this transaction was going in August, September, and October. That's how far his product is. How far his product is. If there's a product. Let's see whether the product will ever land to the Gambia. GNPC said I should supply them since the agreement was payment of supply every 45 days. Guys, you see every 45 days someone to supply GNPC. Why should one person be supplying GNPC every 45 days? Why can't be given to different Gambians so that different Gambians will create wealth, so that the wealth will be redistributed? We need the redistribution of wealth than concentration of wealth. This is my argument. But I should supply them every month. I asked my agent to write to Gampetroleum to supply, but the first accused said he asked me to pay for the fuel that was previously supplied to me. Now, not only that it will redistribute wealth, but it will create help again for capacity problem these things. Now, Abbacarr is under pressure because of the supply every month. You have to have the volume. You have to have the capacity. Now, if different Gambians were entrusted to take the responsibility, now every Gambian every 3 months would be supplying. Every Gambian would be prepared and able to supply and would not be under pressure and make sure quality and everything else is assured. This is what the tender, the committee that look after tenders should look at. That's why JIGO have failed and the board of directors of GNPC have failed. Let's move on. Then he said he was asked to do this payment. I told the first accused to supply October, as my fuel still did not reach the country. Now, August, September, October, 3 months. He said still his fuel did not reach. Where is the fuel coming from? Where is the fuel coming from? Even from Russia would have reached in Gambia. Now, my assumption, again, would be there's no fuel. He have not ordered fuel. Because we have seen evidence that he tried to raise money. You see, this guy is not rich as you people think. He tried to raise money. He could not raise the money from the bank. The bank would not give him an LC because of he doesn't have the assets. Gambia, this is what we should think of. This is what we should think of. We need to educate our people ourselves, not to be fooled all the time to take people as who they are not. That's why we need the transparency. Let's move on. And now Sehu is demanding the money to be paid. And again, the agreement was to be paid for liter by liter. Let's say why this is happening. That if the suppliers need it, then I can pay. After 2 days, my agent said that the first accused said I should pay the money to the Senegalese. I am already in possession of the invoice, voice note from my agent. There I told my agent that first accused said I should hold on to the money. Now you are saying I should pay. Kapi come to the scene again. Kapi also said the money to reach him. Kapi also said the money to reach him. I tried to reach the first accused on his phone, but to no avail. Later, I got the first accused on the phone, and I told him that Kapi said he owns the money, and that I should pay it to him, and also that my agent and I should hand over the money to her. You see, now Kapi is coming to the scene again, claiming that he owns the money, probably that he owns the stock. Now that's why again I said Kapi should have been on the dock. Now again, he said Khadija is claiming to the money to be paid to her, given to her to onward payment to the Senegalese or to Sehu. Now he's saying that Kapi is saying, no, you need to pay me the money. And he continued to say, and also that my agent said I should hand over the money to her. The first accused said that Kapi is lying and that the money belongs to the Senegalese. Guys, you see this important industry, the important sector, how it's been dealt with. Just like market trading, market trading as local market trading, going to the market, buying Jahatu and prepare super kanja. This is how these people are trading these millions of dollars. And this sector, anybody can claim to be ownership of something. And this thing is not regulated. That's why our opposition fails. Our press fails, because we are not holding this thing accountable. Parliament is failing accountable. This thing needed to be regulated. He said, I went with my agent to the bank to send the money where it should go. Then I asked my agent, where should I send the money to? Shehu said I should pay the money in cash. Then I said I would not give the money in cash. Again, he's asked to pay money in cash. He said no, he's not going to pay in cash. Okay, let's see what's going on. How much money was it? $28 million. Oh, $28 million. This time around it's dollars. Did you verify with your agent? I called the first accused, but could not get him. But my agent said I should pay the supplier in cash. I refused to pay in cash. That in international business we cannot pay such money in cash. I was there, and Khadija gave me another invoice, an invoice from Koringo, K-O-R-I-N-G-O, Koringo, invoice, as they are the beneficiary, and that the first accused said I should pay the money into that account. Now they produce an account from a company called Koringo, that they are the beneficiary of the money. Let's see. I called the first accused but could not get him, and I later received a message from the first accused, and he said when they were given Gach the supply of fuel, there was no document. Now, an international businessman said that he's not going to hand over cash because he's an international businessman, but an international businessman went into a business without contract, without a document, all on verbal agreement, and he wants us to believe that he's above board. Look, that's why I said it's not personal. This is the detail I'm looking at. It's not personal. How can I interpret this? Or how can any genuine person interpret this transaction? That's for you Gambians to think. This is how I see it. He said that who said that to him. And guys, remember, this is the testimony of Abbacarr. When we get to say whose testimony, it will be interesting to see what he will say, or the cross-examination will see how strong Abbacarr's position is on this. But now, for payment, I am bringing up all sorts of things. I felt very bad when he said that because he gave me the fuel and never signed any document, and now I am requesting him to sign a document. I sent him a voice note telling him not to feel that way, and that his money is here. His money is here, and whoever he want me to pay it, I will do the same. As you initially told me to hold onto the money, that's why. That's Abbacarr's position. After sending the voice message, what happened? I saw the text message to my agent that it was sent to first accused, and he forwarded it to me. I sent the money to Koringo, and I received a transaction copy from the bank. Did you know who Koringo was? I asked my agent, as I did not know. She said she is usually called by a private number, but she does not know them. I asked her if she has their number. She said no. Now again, this is an international businessman. What do you do? Due diligence, due diligence, due diligence. If you have done your due diligence, you can have find out all this. You can have easily do a due diligence to find out who it is. Even with your bank. Instruct your bank that I'm making a payment to this account. Can we verify this account for us? The bank can easily do that. But this is an international businessman saying us, he doesn't know, and the client said, no, I talked to someone, on private number. Who is that? And this is the amount of money going around. Are we serious, Gambia? He continued. Did the first accused said anything about the money you sent to Koringo when you visited his office? Yes, I showed him the receipt to show him that I have made the payment. He told me that the Senegalese suppliers are very difficult so next time he will find another supplier. The invoice from Koringo and the bank transfer, it shows to you. Will you be able to identify them? Yes. Take a look. Yes, they are the document. Malu, my lady, we apply a tender this bank transfer and the invoice from Koringo. Many, no objection, my lady. Admitted marked invoice P78.1 and bank transfer P78.2. Take a look at P78.1. Can you can you tell the court how much you were invoiced? I was invoiced $58,965,150 Gambian dollars. And how much is on the P78.2? $58,965,150 Gambian dollars. $58,965,150 Gambian dollars. Let me repeat that. And can you read the narration of that payment? Supply of petroleum details. Read the narrative on P78.2. Remnant supply of petroleum. What happened after you made the payment? When I was in his office, I continued to process my fuel to come into the country, because the first accused said if I do not make effort for my fuel to get here, he will not supply me in November. He said he had a big loss in the first transaction they did. They had a big loss in the first transaction they did. How did that happen? Now, again, that needed to be elaborated. I'm not sure whether it's elaborated on or not. I just don't want to forget my thoughts. It needed to be elaborated by Abbacarr. What the loss about? Why would anyone do a business for, on knowing it's going to be a loss? That too needed to be thought about. Let's check what happened. He continued. Then he showed me another person by the name of Pap. If my fuel does not come, he will help me negotiate fuel to come into the country. Myself and Pap sat in his office and said he will not interfere, and left to the bank. Pap and I went to the bank, and my agent said I should open an LC. We tried the LC with Pap, but it did not work. By the end of October, a shortage of fuel in the country. During the shortage, there were rumors on social media that I took all the fuel and sold it to Mali. Good. Now, this is where I said that the prosecution is deliberately doing something, or I don't think it's incompetence. I, as a layperson, can see the holes. Why are they not picking up the holes? One, he should have asked this question about, again, the delivery. How come still now there's no delivery? It's coming to October. August, September, October, 3 months to November. He's not even expecting this delivery in November. He's expecting delivery, someone to give him petrol for November. Now, he went on again on the negotiations without document, without contract. Another person turned out to be Pap. Does he even have proof that that person is called Pap? And only Pap, not even Pap Njai, Pap Sheka, Pap Jobate, Pap Bojang, or whatever it is, but another Pap. And this is an important sector. A terrorist can buy and sell fuel in the Gambia then. Just imagine. Anybody can buy and sell. Drug dealers can buy and sell fuel in the Gambia then. There's no regulation. Anybody can turn up to be a fuel dealer. Now he said, Shehu said he's not going to get involved. He let him to deal with Pap. Then he went with Pap to the bank and to raise an LC. But he could not raise an LC. Did the prosecution find out why he could not raise an LC? That again, the prosecution should not let it slide. That should be, why did you not let it? Why? Because of, as I said, Zenith Bank would not allow him to raise an LC. He doesn't have the assets. Most of his assets is already mortgaged to another businesses that he is just spending money on PR. This is where we need to look at these things. Now let's say, now he said, that was October, obviously, and now the fuel problem happened. And he said it was on social media that he was accused that he took the fuel from Gampetroleum and sent it to Mali. Now, he must be economical with the truth. The question was either sell it to Mali or sell it to GNPC. Go and look at the records. Mali or GNPC, but he wants to put it that way. Fine. But again, he, as an international trader, if he goes into business in this way, if he cannot even still now tell us where the fuel comes from, how can he blame someone else who is scrutinizing, taking details as they are, try to bring an interpretation on it, that that person was not telling the truth? Now, can he tell where the petrol comes from? Can he tell us, guarantee us where petrol comes from, that it's not from Gampetroleum? Can he? No. either he's lying or not. Let's move on. When I asked, when I saw this post, I called the first accused and asked him what is going on. He said I should not worry because I started business with him not long ago, and people are fighting him because of me, and they know I don't have experience, and that's why they are fighting me. I asked him who are these people, and he said Mohamed Dia, Idi Job, Sheikh Omar Digo, Sidi Keta, Mwambure Njai. Now, this is a managing director accusing these people. Now, Gambians, you see, when I say there are many interest groups, it's not Ben Sware who made up these interest groups. And he said these interest groups are fighting him. Shehu, let him not be worried. Let's continue. And he said, Abbacarr continued. Then I asked him, how can I help him? And he said, I should not worry. Ben Sware, another media, wrote about me and my company again. I called the first accused and told him that I am having a bad name. And they said, I have taken all the fuel in the country. He said, should not respond to them. Thank you. He reported that that's what we said. That's what we said. The fuel went. And people have heard from this narrative, this part. Now the shortage happened at Gampetroleum, and he got involved. And if you look at my write-up, I said I said the timeline. In May, President Barrow visited the Gampetroleum and said that they want to Gambianize the Gampetroleum. I don't know what that means, because most of them are Gambians, and Gampetroleum was owned by Gambians until Barrow introduced a foreigner again, which is the Senegalese Mauritanian Star Oil. It was Gambia. Now to broaden the business, to look how to help the facility and so on. That's what Barrow said. I said I was suspicious that Barrow wanted to do something with that business because I knew that there's so much money involved in the business. And next minute, Abbacarr Jawara took interest in that business. And the minute he took interest in the business, something happened. That's what I said. Now, and it happened that he did not have the capacity, money, not the money, not the knowledge to do business. And now he has proven me right that he did not have all this. He has proven me right about not able to raise an LC. He has proven me right not even able to bring in fuel. He has proven me right of going through pillar to post trying to get fuel rather than using any official manner, not signing contracts or anything else. Meeting in factories, meeting in home residence, meeting in places. Now, this is what I reported. And now he's agreeing onto it. Yes, I said that, and I stand by it. I'm vindicated again. Let's move on. What happened after that? I had the SIS went to Gampetroleum to see how the shortage occurred. Now, SIS went there. Why did SIS go to Gampetroleum? Again, that's where we all assumed the petrol should be coming from. Now they have to prove of the petrol comes from somewhere else. It's not proven yet. The first accused person told me the police went there and there are hypocrites who want him to lose his job. That Idi Job and Sidi Keta took the police to the depot. Tell the court what happened next. He went to say, then I told the first accused that I just started this business and I am receiving insults and accusations all over the media. I sat down and called the SIS director, Usman So, and told him I had you people went to the depot, and he said yes, they went there and found out that I and other companies took fuel from the depot, and I told him that is true. Now, you spoke to the spy master of the country that went and inspected, and that spy master accused you that taken fuel from the depot and with other companies, and you agree, and you want to say that Ben Suarez said something to tarnish your name. What did you do with the information the spy director, SIS director gave you? I called the first accused and told him that they said I took fuel from the depot, and he said that is false. A committee was set up, and the first accused was a member of the committee. Lamin Kamara called me, PS Energy. He said the phone was on speaker and that the committee was set up to investigate what happened in the depot, and my company is mentioned. He said he want to confirm how many liters of fuel I have taken from them. I told him that it was just September and October, 1,400 metric tons, and agro 400 metric tons of PMS for both September and October, but October GNPC did not take all the fuel. Now, he is admitting to the permanent secretary of energy that sat at the committee that called him and opened the speaker that he has actually taken fuel from Gampetroleum. He has taken fuel from Gampetroleum. Now, how can he accuse us of holding him accountable that he took fuel that is not his? Let's move on. But again, the committee was wrong. Why is it wrong? Again, because people sitting on the committee are complicit. That's why a receiver, a company, should have been appointed to receive the company, to regulate the operations, to take over, caretaker, and make sure things listen, and auditing done to ascertain what has happened and make sure all recovery done, compensation done, and to make sure all these people are penalized and taken out and the industry is cleaned up. That's what have happened. That was my recommendation. Let's continue. He said, when you convey this message, what happened? I called the first accused and informed him that the committee called and bits of the PS who called me and put it on loudspeaker. He said what I responded was a good one. I asked him, the GNPC gave me for the month of September, what happened to it, and he said he will come to my house. Now, this is said he transmitted the information to Sehu, and Sehu said he's going to come to his house when he asks what's going to be happening to the rest of the thing. Did you meet? He came to the house, but he did not meet me, and he called and met me at the arch in Banjul, and I entered his car, and he said the money is with Khadija so that she can send it to the supplier. Now, he said Khadija got the money now. Khadija will send the money to the supplier. What money are you talking about? The second payment. I told him that you did not tell me that, and he said I should not worry, that he has ordered fuel and whatever was taken from the depot will be replenished when the fuel arrives. He promised to do everything possible to solve this problem. Now this is Abbacarr saying that Sehu was admitting liability, technically, that he the money he received by Khadija is going to send the money to the Senegalese. But again, that don't worry about the fuel and the problem about the fuel. That Sehu have ordered fuel, and that fuel is going to be returned. This is a very important point. That's why the cross-examination should be important to this, and to make sure whether it's challenged for the records or say who's going to come and testify against it. That's need noted for people to remember. Tell the court whether the product he was expecting arrived. Whenever I call him, he will tell me it's not yet here. One day he told me it has arrived and they are offloading. When I heard that the ship had arrived, I've already arrived, but it belongs to PSTV. I called him and he told me the price they are requesting is very high and he's negotiating for another. But I told him that I cannot wait for that, so he should refund me my money. Now, this is now in October or end of October, nearly November. But still, Abbacarr have not produced now he's not talking about his fuel. His fuel is not materializing. That's why I said the prosecution have established that to prove that he have fuel. He have the paperwork to say that he have ordered fuel. He did not order fuel. I don't think so. Let's move on. Now, he said this was what transpired between him and Sam. Now he asked for his money. What money? The 58 million. What did he say? He said I should be patient. I went home and Googled Korean. The due diligence he should have done, he did not do it till now. Google Korean. I found out that is a Gambian-owned business and it belongs to Mohammed Jagana. And I said I saw his phone number. I called him and did not get him on direct. So I called him on WhatsApp. He told me that he's in Senegal, I told him that there is a sum of money that was transferred from my account to yours, and asked him if he was aware. He said he was aware, and Khadija Kebe gave him the instructions. I told him Khadija said she does not know the company and who owns the company. The money which was set to his account, set to his account, Khadija told him to change into dollars and euros. Now. He went to find on Google and find out it's Jagana. And people who remembered my reporting have seen how I report about Jagana too. And Jagana did reach out to other people, them then too, again try to, I did not do anything on it. Look, again, the investigation who have got in there, I tell you, Jagana would have been guilty for money laundering. But again, it's Gambia. Some people are untouchable. You know, they will go and pick these criminals on the streets, selling dope or breaking houses and everything else. But the big ones are never touched. And we expect the problems to go away. And most of the big criminals problems are causing the small criminal problems, because the money that could have invested in the youth schools and hospitals and everything else, so that it's not there. But no, we can try to justify the MPs increasing their salary, increasing their benefits, but we never talk about what we should invest in the less able, or the unfortunate people, or disabled, disadvantaged people. Now he's saying here that this is how it went. Now let's see how the transaction ended up. Now he said that this money, now Jagana admit, yeah, I took the money. It was an instruction from Khadija, and Khadija wanted to be changed in dollars and euros. Now, Khadija, according to the testimony, Khadija must be again an agent representing Gaj. Now, give instructions to Korimo to change this money. If the money was changed, the money should have gone back to Khadija's for the account it came from Gaj account. But the money was withdrawn in dollars, would be withdrawn and changed into dollars and euros and paid in cash. That amount of money should not be paid in cash. Once you took part in that, you definitely did not do your due diligence. The question, is it a legal transaction? Am I getting into a crime here? Am I facilitating something illegal? And that should be the responsibility of Jagana. Jagana should be knowledgeable enough to know that. He should be experienced enough to know that. If he failed to know that, it's not an excuse, in fact, because he chose to operate a company. He should know the rules and regulations of money laundering and how to do things above board. And if that fails, the court should have taken this thing into account. And remember, Jagana's wife is, listen to this. That's why we should understand this the cabal, how they work, and this cartel, how they work. Jagana's wife is the secretary, legal secretary to Gampetroleum board. Legal secretary to the Gampetroleum board. Conflict of interest. Let's move on. What was your reaction? I said it was a betrayal, and he said converted. He said he converted the money into dollars and euros and handed it over to Khadija. To her. That's Khadija. After the call, I called Sehu and could not get him. The first accused called me and said why I was following the money, and he has received the money, and he told me that the money was with Khadija. Now, he is saying, Abbacarr is saying that Sehu, he called Sehu, he did not get Sehu. But Sehu called him back to say, why are you following up this money? And he said that Sehu said he got the money and the money was with Khadija. Okay. At 1 p.m. at night, he came with, the money was with Khadija. 1 p.m. at night, business, you see this, business is how they go. 1 p.m. at night, he came with Banduku Sisoho to my house. And he said, I told people about the money. So I asked him who. Before they came to my house, we had a three-way conversation called to discuss this. But we did not understand ourselves. So they came to my house. Khadija was the first to arrive, and I narrated everything to him as I said here. And when Sehu came came, we all entered his car, and and what we agree on was the money Khadija gave him. I want to confirm the rate. He said Musa Drame told him that I have spoken to so many people about this money, and I asked him who did I tell, and he said Musa Drame. I said that a fact, and the fact is it was you, Shehu, who told me to call Musa Drame and to tell him what have happened. Guys. Again, the prosecution should establish who Musa Drame is. Musa Drame was the Minister of Local Government and Lands. Musa Drame now is the Minister of Fisheries. Musa Drame is the Treasurer of Gampetroleum. How to call him? Musa Drame is the Treasurer of Musa Drame is the Treasurer of the NPP. Now, remember, as I said, that through Musa Drame, that's how the money goes to NPP. I'm not talking about the money that goes through the First Lady. There's another money that goes through the First Lady. The First Lady is not mentioned here, but again, vindicated. Vindicated. When I talked about Musa Drame, people were surprised why bringing Musa Drame into this. It's here. Now he's saying that Musa Drame was in the middle of this. That's who told him to call Musa Drame. And they're talking about the money. Or many people know about the money. They don't want people to know about money. And I accuse Musa Drame of covering up or trying to cover up this case. That's again what they have said here, have again supported my position. I again supported my position that they were trying to cover up this case. Let's move on again. Then he said, I said that the fact it is you, Shehu, who told me to call Musa Drame and tell him what was happening. Yes, you said you wanted to confirm the rate. He called me and said the rate Khadija gave me is perfect and I have confirmed everything. Mbalo, what, my lady, I think this is a convenient place to stop. No, this guy, again, guys, what we should ask ourselves, why the prosecution is not establishing who Musa Drame is, and why should Musa Drame be mediating into this and so on. Look, this is the case about this is. I am not against Sehu. I am not against Lamin. I'm not against Abbacarr. But I'm saying I want accountability of this case. And to take Sehu and Lamin to court only, it's not the solution to this. Yes, they might be found guilty, but so far I have not seen that. This testimony of Abbacarr is saying something, but does it establish the others? I don't know. That's yet to be tested by the defense and how it goes. But there is a lot to be answered. There are a lot of people to be held to account. And again, it proves how the cartel works. And for the vice president, again, this was when I wrote my article, this was our pointing. If you talk about the cartel, ready to take them on. And I tell you, ready. If you want to make things right, you have to ready to take these people on. Let's try and move to the third one. I've gone almost 2 hours. I want to complete this this one. The third one is that's final testimony. Guys, just a minute. I'm trying to get the next one. Okay, I've got the next one. Yeah. Now we are on the what date is this? This is the 9th. Yeah, still on the 9th. Another testimony here. Continued cross-examination of PW7. Abbacarr Jawara witness is reminded of the oath. Malo, that's the prosecution. Can you tell this honorable court what happened after the confrontation regarding the money? After that, I called him and told him that the way things are going, we should reconsider everything and see what to do. Then he asked me to give him some time. After a day or so, I saw another article on social media. I called the first accused and told him that I can no longer wait for him and I was going to lodge a complaint to the police. Guys, who said social media don't work? Who said social media don't work? And they are referring to my continued following up this case, updating on this case. You see, it gets to them. He did not say that he saw it in the press. He did not say that the government or anybody put pressure on him. Social media. This is the reason why we're here. I am pleased that it have had an impact. This is the reason why we're here. And it have an impact. Don't count that because of 100 people is what watch you or 200 people watch you. Some of the things that thousands watch is because of their insults and nothing important. Some people, mainly even the small people that watch these things, they watch it because of the integrity of that program. And that's why I'm satisfied with. And the impact it have. And I can tell you this have an impact. And this case, as I don't want to claim, I'm humble about this, that it would not have got to court if some of us did not put pressure on this. And it's this pressure, that's why I keep on counting the days, counting the days, counting the days. They want to just go through this case and finish with it. But let's see how it's going to happen. We have done our job. If it stops here, that's the rest of other institutions to do their job. Ben Swari can go and sleep, knowing that as a citizen have exercised the rights and discharged the responsibility for the little he knows and can for the benefit of the greater good. I can go to sleep on that. Let's continue. After I call him, did he say anything after that? We had a push and pull. About what? Regarding the money, he said the money was not with him, but with Khadija Kebe. I told him that, so this is the time you are telling me this, that was when I went to Kairaba police station. I gave my statement and they arrested Khadija, who also gave her statement. Then they went to arrest first accused and question. Now, what did he say? He said whether I gave him any money for fuel. Did he say anything in reaction to your report? You see, it's interesting there. Khadija is not in the dock. Khadija is not charged here. Because Khadija was not working for Gampetroleum. Khadija was working with Kebe. Now, that's a civil matter. It's going through the courts. But you see, that's why the case should have been broadened to bring all the other people on board. The case is not only the case of Abbacarr, the case with other people that took fuel, but they don't want that to happen. Let's continue. Tell us what happened after. The father asked me if we can make it a family discussion. The father, which father? Then I also spoke to first accused and Badu Conte, who said that the fuel was already here. Okay, he means Khadija's father. It's not clear to me, but I assume Khadija's father wants us to make a family discussion. And if you see me come here, it's because I want the matter to come to an end. The first accused said that if I agree, the products are in 2 gallons and 2 gasoline and gas oil. He said the supplier said he has gasoline in his possession, but the amount of gasoline and gas oil he is ready to pay for in gasoline. Then I calculated and said the difference between these two is too much. I disagreed on that day. The next day, Badu said I may agree. Jar Oil said that I borrow from. We agree for Jar Oil to refund the gas oil to me. Now, I have just read it as written, but I understand it this way. Now, Badu is a lawyer. Badu Conte. Again, this should have been made clear. Badu Conte is a lawyer and representing probably the first accused is represent the fourth accused in this case. But in this negotiation, I don't know who is representing, whether Khadija Kebe or not. But again, because Khadija Kebe's father, we assume, was the father referred to here, asked for negotiations, and they were negotiating. And through the negotiations, they came up with giving something gasoil in place, in replacement, so on. But there's a different prices. And Jawara said that he was not happy with the price differences. He was not going to accept it. But what happened is they agreed that now Jar Oil is going to lend them fuel that they can replace. How did you reach the agreement with Jar Oil? I had a discussion with Shehu and Badu Conte. I asked them how about petrol. They told me in either 2 weeks or 2 months they will refund that to me. I told them I will contact my lawyer so that he will draft the agreement. So I told him the name of my lawyer, Christine Many. No. To my lawyer, I told him name of my lawyer, Christine Many. I called Many myself and told him, and he said what he has in mind. What they had to pay, let them pay that first. Then after that payment, then we will sit down and make an agreement. This is what I told the first accused and Badu. After a few days, they asked me to go to Jar Oil. I went to Jar Oil and met Hamidou Jah. There was a meeting, and after we went to his father, Jar Oil said the amount of money that was brought there by the first accused and Badu, he calculated it and told me the amount of fuel it is going to be, it does not tally. That this is the money that was given to him, that the amount of fuel. There I said to Jar Oil, no problem, and he gave me the receipt. Now, it's coming clear now that actually the father means Shehu's father. Now, he said that Christian Many, I'm not sure is the same lawyer now representing Shehu. But he's saying his lawyer, Christian Many. But there's another Many. I don't know what that Many name is. People might understand that. But I don't want to go back to check what's the Many representing this one. But there are not so many Many in the country. Now, he said that they went to Jar Oil. But when they went to Jar Oil, they had to go back to Shehu's father. Because of what the money Shehu and Badu took to what we call it, took to Jar Oil. It's not enough compared to the volume, the stock they needed, and that's what they went there for, and that was resolved. And I said to Jar Oil, no problems, and he gave me the receipt. It shows the second receipt will be. Will you be able to recognize it? Yes, that's it. We applied to tender receipts dated 17th of October, 2024. 17 October to 24th November, 17 November, sorry, to 24th November 21 respectively. Now, we are in end of November. Still, Abbacarr did not have fuel coming to the country. It's September, October, November. September, August, September, October, November, 4 months. The guy have never had fuel. Now, they say that that receipt was tendered. Any objection? My lady, this is not a receipt. Many interjectors said, my lady, this is not a receipt. Court, Mr. Mbalo, take your time and lead your witness. Release orders are hereby marked as P79 1 and 2. How much is on exhibit P71 1? Diesel. Tell the court what happened after. I told you, I took the release copy and gave them to the police. After that, they did not do any payment. Gampetroleum also called the OMCs to the police station. I told the police that I am in the business for 3 months and others have been in the business for 5 years. The police said they won't release us until we have bail. Didn't I not say that Abbacarr was detained and these people were detained? Didn't I not say that they were detained? It's come out now. He's admitting he was detained. People that say that are lying, to the extent of coming out to attack. The police said they won't release us until we have bail. They took all our statements. I told them I do not have any debt because I already paid the money to first accused. They said, how did the payment, it should not be in that manner. I told them that the first accused is leader of Gampetroleum. Whatever I will do, I will have to go to him. He said I should pay to Koringo, and that's what I did. I went with Badu Conte and Ayuba Njai as my lawyer. But before I took Ayuba Njai as my lawyer, I went to my previous lawyer, and he said he cannot represent me because he was representing the first accused. Yeah, it's the same many. It's the same many now representing the first accused. That was when I went with Ayuba Njai as my lawyer. Badu Conte and other OMC on arrival, myself and Mr. Njai were the first persons to enter Keita's office, and he told us we must pay the money, otherwise he will take us to court. I then asked him of the amount, and he said 31 million. I went back to the police station, and I was told by the police that if I cannot pay the money, then I will have to look for someone to bail me out. I was given a paper to sign, which I refused. My lawyer, Mr. Njai, spoke to the police, and the bail was lifted after I went back home. Now, this is what transpired from the transaction. Now, you see how everything started to be muddled up. Rather than taking the right route, now they're trying to negotiate this case. Now, you see, this is a cartel. The entire operation was cartel. The police have not taken over this case. The minute it landed on the police have taken over. But you see, the police is compromised. The entire system is compromised by these people. They're so powerful. That's why Abbacarr should not be building police station for the police. But that's why the police should not be taking charity or debts this from some people. Because this is what it does. This is what it does. Why was he not bailed? Why was he not put on bail? You see, but other people would have been put on bail. Now, and again, many people should have been put on bail on this and hold responsibility. Abbacarr said the truth. He was in the business for 3 months, but other people were there for 5 months, and they are part of the problem. Let's proceed. I then wrote a letter to the police and asked them to give me 1 month, which they agreed. Before the completion of 1 month, I paid the amount. Then they did a recalculation and informed that the first payment of the 300 metric tons I took for month of August did not reflect in the calculation. Then they informed me that I should pay another 715,000. What did you do next? Now the first payment was not even. Now they refined the first payment was not paid. Then the stock was from Gampetroleum. That's how it's been put here. What did you do next? I sat with them to make a payment plan, but they disagree. I requested for 4 months. They refused, and took me to court. I went to my lawyers and asked him to make an agreement, as I now had the money in my possession. And ready to pay. My lawyer then called Gampetroleum lawyer Hawasise Sabali, so we can negotiate how payment should be. You know, this thing I was not aware of, and I bet you the press were aware of. They did not report this guy was taken to court by Gampetroleum on payment, but they will not. The press will not report this. If shown the process Gampetroleum file against you, will you be able to identify, yes, that's the document? We apply to tender this writ of summons. Court, any objection? The document was not served to us, and again, a certified true copy, an issue of admission. Court process file is admitted as Exhibit P80. Where is the original of the Exhibit P80? They serve my lawyer, Mr. Many. They serve my lawyer, Mr. Many. You earlier talked about a text message you received from first accused before you paid the 53 million. Yes. If shown, will you recognize it? Yes, that's it. We applied to tender a print message dated 18th of October 2021. Any objection? It's a photocopy of a printed text message. It's admitted into evidence as Exhibit P81. Mbalo, that will be all for this witness. Now the prosecution have finished their examination. Now the defense is going to go for cross-examination. Just bear me a minute, let me drink this water. Now, a cross-examination, many. I had previously wanted not to cross-examine this witness, but I have reconsidered as this is a criminal matter. Malu, I have an objection, save the representation of accused person, the S19 LPA state he reads, Exhibit P80 is civil process, and the witness has stated that he had restricted Mr. Many in the case. We also rely on My Lady, a journal by Attorney B. Flint, Catholic University Law Review, P350 and P52 section, legal jargons, references. Many. Mr. Jawara is merely a witness in the case and is not a party to the case. Any duty I owe him is for him to invoke, not the prosecution. My Lady, the witness himself, testified before this honorable court that with regards to the dispute and false accused, I informed him at some point that I cannot represent him because of conflict of interest. It was because of that fact I told him that, which was why he got another lawyer. Okay. This was the lawyers saying that many should not cross-examine this accused. Sorry, the witness, because of many was the lawyer for the witness. But many say no. When it comes to this case at the early stage, I said no, I'm not going to represent you because I am going to represent the false accused. Okay. Okay. And he continued to say, however, assuming, without conceding that a mere witness has a case with Gampetroleum, which is not contentious, which he wants to settle, does not qualify me from discharging my duty to the first and second accused. All this authority will be relevant if I was representing Mr. Jawara in case between him and the first accused. That is why from the beginning I told Mr. Jawara I cannot represent him and the first accused. The privilege is owned to the client, so he can discharge me of my duty. So I do think I am disqualified, but for transparency I will allow my junior do the cross-examination, provided that I will be allowed to take over at any point I feel he's not doing the right thing. Okay, the witness will be cross-examined by Mr. Many Jr., Mr. Conte, but Mr. Many can take over at any time. That's what. Okay, now Mr. Conte. Mr. Conte coming as the junior advocate. It is correct. He said, Mr. Conte said, is it correct? It is not that the day the release order was made, Exhibit P79, first and second witness, the first accused was under police custody. No, at that time he was on bail. I'm putting it to you that the day of payment of Exhibit P7912 was made to Jar Oil. The first accused was in police custody. As far as I am concerned, I don't understand that he was on bail. Mr. Jawara, that first accused was in police custody, so it is impossible for him to go to Jar Oil to make the payment. I never said that. What I said was that Jar Oil told me that the payment was made by first accused and Badu. Okay, I'm putting it to you that neither me nor the first accused went to Jar Oil to make any payment. Now this is, the Badu is disputing the statement from Abbacarr. Okay, that is what I was told. That's what Jar Oil. Let's Jar Oil come into the dock. I am putting it to you that what you are saying is not correct. Do you know that? Do you know I am the lawyer of Jar Oil? Up. Now, Badu is the lawyer of Jar Oil. I will not know. I once wrote to you on behalf of Jar Oil to recover the sum of 12 million. Yes. Take a look of this letter dated the 30th of September 2021. Yes, that's the letter sent to me by you on behalf of Jar Oil. Content. We apply to tender this as evidence. Court, any objection? No. Letter dated 30th September 2021 is admitted as D18. I put it to you that the overseas supplier in Dubai contacted their agent in Senegal to come and make the payment to Jaoil on behalf of your agent. Okay, Badu is putting a completely different case now. You see, that's why it's always good to listen to the other side. Now, the verdict would come from the judge examining both testimonies and to bring out a verdict. This is the beauty of trial, not a TRRC. Any objection? Sorry, put it to you. Jaoil never told me that. Jaoil knew you refused to pay his money. That's why Jaoil contacted first accused, who contacted me so that you can pay the money to Jaoil. You see, Abbacarr Jawara, what Badu is doing, guys, let's be serious here. Badu is trying to prove to the court, and this is a legal strategy, that Abbacarr is not a trustworthy person. That Abbacarr according to Badu, and to the court, put into the court that Abbacarr owed Jaoil and did not refuse to pay Jaoil. And Badu asked Jaoil's lawyer, did send someone to claim that money, and that was 12 million. You see this guy running around giving out money, giving about money to be seen as a good person, building police station and others. Take that as a business. Take that as an inducement to corrupt the system. And the people around going with him should be very careful. Musicians and other people should be very careful. He is trying to influence society. And we should not allow these people to be given that recognition. Now he's called a doctor. No one is paying all this money to be called a doctor. Now, what Badu is doing here is to show this and say, no, look, Jaoil did not even want to deal with you because he didn't trust you. That's why he contacted the first accused. Let's continue. Jaoil knew you refused to pay his money. That's why Jaoil contacted first accused, who contacted me so that you can pay the money to Jaoil. That is not correct. He said that's not correct. Is it correct that you appointed Khadija Kebe as your agent? Yes. Is it also correct that you appointed Adolf Manu as your finance administrator? Yes. It is therefore correct that both parties acted on your behalf? Yes. Did you ever make any payment to first accused? Yes. Did you have the receipts of payment? I have never made any payment to him hand in hand, but he gave the instruction for the payment to Koringo. You see, that's another point that has to be made clear. That's why I said bringing Sehu to this. Only Abbacarr cannot prove a case. I don't think so. Because he have to prove that the money went to Sehu. That have to be proven, and now it's starting to be difficult. That he actually paid the money to, the money was handled by his own agent and financial accountants. And who's the money paid for? Now that case is treated as a civil case in another trial. This is where we have to go. And do you have a copy of the authorization? No, I don't. I'm putting it to you that the first accused never asked you to pay Koringo. He gave me authority. In your evidence yesterday, you told the court that you paid Koringo when Khadija asked you to pay. And that was when you called first accused but could not reach him. Shehu was the one who told Khadija. And she told me about it. And after payment, I gave the receipt to the first accused. I put it to you that the first accused did not acknowledge those receipts. He did. Take a look at exhibit P781 and tell the court who is the sender of the money in that document. Catch Global. Look at P7792 or to whose account do they pay the money to? Koringo. Is that the first accused? No. That's why the prosecution have to bring Koringo. You see, the prosecution is avoiding to touch the cabal. You see, this is a cabal. The whole, you see, that's why you have to have prosecution that are credible. The prosecution is not credible. They are protecting each other. That's why when we said that the deputy counsel for deputy director of civil litigation, TAR, who is a business partner for other people in the cabal, is wrong. And Tar is actually too in the board of GNPC. Tar should not be in the board of GNPC. He should not be in the board of GNPC. This is the problem with this case. The case is not been prosecuted right. And the taxpayer is going to lose out again. Let's look at it. Is that the first accused? No. And putting it to you that the first accused does not know Korengo, and he got to know him when he came to the police and introduced himself as Modi Jagana. Now the first accused is saying, I don't know Jagana. I've never dealt with Jagana. I'm dealing with Jagana because of you brought Jagana into this. He continued. I never know that the first accused did not know Korengo. I came to know Korengo myself after the incident because I thought Korengo was a Senegalese according to my agent. I sent this payment receipt to him on WhatsApp, but he never told me that he did not know Korengo. Again, the person, this is why it's important when people put their bid, you have to know that they have the capacity to do the business. It's very important. Now, this is again an indictment on GNPC. They have not done that due diligence, or they have been corrupted to give a business to someone who should not have it. Continue. I never knew that the first accused did not know Korengo. Continue. Mr. Jawara, Sehu was never involved in your transaction between your agent and Korengo. I just disagree. I never knew, but I assume Sehu got the money. Now he is diluting his evidence to say that he assumed. And in a court of law, if you assume doesn't mean a fact. He didn't say, I know that he got the money. Now he said he assumes Sehu got the money. Because there's no evidence. Again, this is the problem with this case. He continued. Is it correct that in the police station, in your presence, when your agent was asked, where is the money? She responded that she sent the money to her father in Senegal to pay the supplier, and she made a statement to that effect. Again, it's coming out in a different way that the money, according to this response here, is that it's put into it that did he not say this, that your agent said that he sent money to your supplier, send the money to his father in Senegal, who is going to give it to the supplier. Yes, she did. Now Jawara is admitting that this is what Khadija Kebe have told him, that he sent the money to his father, the father is going to pass it on to his supplier. Now, Jawara never made this during this thing. That's why I said the prosecution did not do the grounding well to get all this out, because the prosecution have the statement of Khadija, and they could have gone through the statement of Khadija to see what they can take out of there to make sure it's answered. And it seems that the defense is doing a good job for their client. Okay. Is it correct that Gach Global took your agent and first accused to High Court in a civil matter about the payment of the same amount? This is the case I was talking about. Yes, we did. Now, Gach Global have taken Khadija again in a civil trial case. Now, you see now how shaky it is to rely on the witness as it is. This is why we need a proper investigation and proper witnesses to be brought in. And not only that, this witness should meet that witness. They should investigate to see what role he played in this syndicate. Yes, we did. Who filed this case on behalf of Gach? Ayub Njai. And all the transaction exhibit before this court are attached as evidence in the civil suit. Okay. And this 58 million you mentioned is the in this court, and also the 221,000 US dollar are all claims in that court. Yes. Take a look at this writ. Is this your claim to the civil suit? Yes. We apply to tender this as evidence. Court, any objection? No. Documents are admitted to mark as D19. The defense is not, the prosecution is not I don't think they are incompetent. I don't think they are incompetent. This is deliberate. This is deliberate. They must be aware of the civil suit. I am aware of the civil suit. I am aware of the details of the civil suit. How can they not be aware of the civil suit? How can they think that they can bring all those exhibits again into another court when the civil suit is going, it's not been determined. Now they are bringing that case to be determined in this court. I'm not a technical, my understanding did not get to that. Now, I'm asking for people that understand law. Would the judge see it that if she's not going to take a ruling on this, on the civil suit here, because the civil suit is already under another jurisdiction. Now, it's a civil matter, for that matter. And this court was not set up for a civil matter. Now, he is only looking at the criminal element. And the court, the prosecution should have put more emphasis onto the criminal element. But we have not seen the content enough for that criminal element. Does it mean that the prosecution is losing a case here? Again, it's open to, for people to think about that. But this is, again, just to bring in to the spotlight, to show that we should not allow these prosecutions to always come and bamboozle us with that, oh, we take the case to trial, but it failed. So that we can say, at least the government have done their bit. No. We want to hold the government to do a trial properly. We want to hold the government to investigate properly. We want the government to deliver justice, not selective justice. Let's move on. Is it correct that your agent filed a defense and attached all the sales documents? Okay. No, court admitted as marked D19. Question: is it correct that your agent filed a defense and attached series of documents through her lawyer to defend the suit? I have heard of it, but I have not seen it. Take a look at these documents. Yes, I have seen them. We applied to tender the first defense statement of defense as evidence with all the documents attached. Any objection? No objection. Admitted. Mark A as D20. I think this is what the lawyer is doing here. Is trying to make sure the civil case is not being had in this court. How long have you worked with Khadija as your agent? Less than a year. But it is correct that she acted as your agent in many capacities in this business. Or what I know is that she was my agent and sometimes prepared tenders. And sometimes you travel with her all over the world. I have never traveled with her. I'm putting it to you, to you that you do. Okay, she once met me in China and England, but we never went together. Okay. That was a technical answer. Okay. You agree with me that she is beautiful. Oh, now this is taking a different turn. I agree she is. Mr. Jawara, are you an international businessman? Correct. Yes, I agree. You hand over this 58 million to your agent because you have a relationship deeper than just business. It's not me saying this. I'm reading it. I don't like bringing personal into my deliberation, but this has to happen and it's coming. I'm reading it. Okay. You have, I gave it to her for just business. You also handed $221,000 US cash to her because of business. I gave it to her to hand it over to supplier. Both 1 and 2 cash. 1 and 2 cash were for purpose. Did you receive any receipt from the supplier? No, but the first money was given to her by my financial admin, and I have a voice in my phone to that effect. Mr. Jawara, as an international businessman, you know the rules of money laundering, don't you? Yes, I do. That's my case. I said this before. Yes, I do. Why does someone like this win a bit in the country? Yes, I do. Have a look at P77. Yes, I saw it. Who signed it? My financial admin and my agent. Who is the payment for, according to the government document, to the supplier? Look at the top part of P77. The amount was paid to your agent as service fees. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Is it correct that in your agreement with your agent, any profit made in the petroleum business, she is entitled to 15% of it? Yes, it was a verbal agreement. Now again, the international businessman is telling us he have a verbal agreement with his agent that he would pay 15% of profit to his agent without a document written, an agreement contract written. Gambia, decide for yourself. This is the person telling you he's an international businessman. What else he is? Yes, it was a verbal agreement. Can you read paragraph 9 of Exhibit D20? PW7 reads. Look at paragraph 12, 14, 15. I'm putting it to you that it is not in dispute that your agent is saying that the money was given to another person and not the first accused. That is what she is saying, but that is not true. I'm putting it to you that paragraph 25, your agent is saying that she always work under your instruction and orders. What she's saying here and what she did is different. Now, is the defense is going to good case now is putting the case to be about Abbacarr and the agent. Now, what does that have to do with this court? That is in the civil court, in the civil suit. It's going in the civil suit. This is very, I mean, good way of addressing for the defense. I'm putting it to you that what she said here is what she did is different. But you appointed her as your agent, so you are responsible for whatever she does. I appointed her, so if things were done properly, we will not be here today. I'm putting it to you that whether she does the right thing or not, you still be responsible. I did not tell her to steal my money, so I am not responsible. Now, he is saying that she stole his money. Now, what does that have to do with you? You see, this is where the problem will be coming on for our case. It's sad that this case, now, probably lots of people should have been prosecuted, but they are not prosecuted. And the deal is continuing. Now, what is the point? Where's justice? Did she steal money from you? Yes, that's why we are in court. How much? She told... He fell for it. He fell for it. The defense make him repeat that he stole the money. How much? She stole $58 million and $58 million and 221,000 US dollars with Sehu. Okay, now he said with Sehu. I'm putting it to you that the first accused never stole from you because he have never received any money from you. He stole from me. Let's go to paragraph 26C of D20. Paragraph read by counsel. This is not true. The money Koringo gave to my agent was the money gave to Sehu in dollars and euros. And on the video on social media, the money first accused was claiming to be his is mine. Okay. Now he's saying that the money, there's a video going on that with dollars and whatever Sehu was showing on social media. Now he's saying that money is his. What you say on social media, did they say it's from Koringo? No, but it's mine. Okay, but the same video, did they say the money was from your agent? No, but Koringo also gave dollars and euros to my agent to give it to Sehu. I'm putting it to you that whatever you said about that video on social media is not true. I can prove that it's mine. What is your reaction to paragraph 25? It's not true. I'm putting it to you that in your evidence in chief, you told this court that first accused agreed that you will return the product given to you on credit liter by liter when your vessel arrived. Now, again, this was my point. The prosecution should have brought grounding on this to determine this guy importing fuel. But now they will not do that because they want to seal this person as a witness. But he's not a witness. He should have been proven for what he is. But they were avoiding that. Now the defense is taking opportunity in this to establish this, to make him untrustworthy. Yes. First of all, that was what I said. But when I had delay, I asked him for the October supply, and the first accused said I should pay the September in cash, so I did. But now, where's your supply? There's no paper to show that you have a supply. That should be determined. I'm putting it to you that the first accused never asked you to do such, and you never did. Now, I'm putting it to you, first accused never asked you to do such, and you never did. He called me when I was in Senegal to pay 221,000 US dollars through my agent. Yes, in your evidence in chief, you told this court that when your agent asked you to pay in cash, and you told the first accused, he asked you to hold on to the cash. No, I did not. I did not. What I said was that the first accused said that when they were giving me fuel, they did not ask for anything. And now that it is time for pay, I am giving all kind of excuses. So I felt bad and told him that I will do as they say. This WhatsApp message is the same message your agent said it was not from the first accused, but was forwarded to him. Yes, this same message, when you met the first accused, he told you it was not from him, but was forwarded, and you said that. I saw it, but I knew where it's from. Mr. Conte said, my lady, I think this is the convenient place to stop this. Okay, let's move to this last one. Guys, I wanted to stop, I'm tired, but I have to finish this as it is. Okay, the final one, because it will be best to finish it here, finish with the final paper. I'm very tired. I was not feeling well these days. Let me have a drink. Okay. You see, this is why I did not want to read what's been written in the press, because it's not detailed. I want to go through the transcript from the court so that I can have, and I thank those people, those citizens that work onto this to get us the transcript, and we can deliberate on this, and Gambians can have their sides. Now it continues. Mr. Conte, Mr. Jawara, you represented that your consignment of fuel was at the high sea. Is that correct? What I said was that I was in preparation to bring in my consignment. Ha, 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 ha. You see the change? Of 25 metric tons. I never said that. I put it to you that you are lying. I am not lying. How many months ago were you expected that shipment? You see, this is my point. The prosecution failed to do this because they know that it showed the weakness of their witness. What I know is that I was preparing to bring the shipment. You told, now, the defense should ask for the document. Produce the document of your shipment. That will have proof with anything have happened. Let's see what the defense will do. How many months ago were you expecting this shipment? What I know is that I was preparing to bring this shipment. You told the first accused that you are expecting shipment. That's why you were given the petroleum product on credit. No. You know the shipment was a scam because the shipment never arrived. No. You see? This is my position. Do you know that it was your own negative attitude that led to your failure in the petroleum business? There was no negative attitude that made me fail. Say who first accused stole my money. If that was the case, then DNPC would have taken me to court. DNPC would not take you to court. Because when you were taking the contract, you bribed DNPC, and it's on that text message that you shared with your agent that the president was aware, and the president facilitated to cohese the chairman of DNPC, who is Jigo. And in that text message too, we see that one Mr. Njai went and took some Tobacco ram for GNPC personals. They will not take you to court. That's why I said that if the investigation was done, all these people will be taken to court. But they are not even here to testify. Let's move on. I put it to you that it is not true. Your own agent confirmed that she received the money. You received the money. You said first accused stole from you. And Koringo also confirmed paying the money to your agent. My agent, I know that she betrayed me because she is in love with the first accused and is protecting her. Again, I've never gone into private. Now, the same woman has been accused to be with this witness, and now the witness is accusing the first woman to be with the in a loving relationship with the first accused. They knew each other from this business, and they fell in love to fall to steal from me. It is after this problem that I knew they are in love. Now we know that it is because of this bitterness in you that is why you are accusing Shehu of stealing your money when he did not. Now the difference is putting it to Abbacarr. Apparently, because of you fell in love with this young lady who does not fall in love with you, but choose to fell in love with the first accused, and now you are bitter. That's why you want to, you see, accuse the first accused for taking your money. Continue. I have never fell in love with my agent. She was the one running after me for 7 months to be my agent. Whenever she called me within those 7 months, I did not pick. Then she sent someone to me who begged me to help employ her. I just see her as my sister and not a lover. She was in love with Shehu and they stole my money. Yes, Abbacarr is saying, no, I've never been in love. She wanted a job, followed me for 7 months. I did not respond. She sent someone and I to beg, and I gave her a job. She was not in love with me. She is in love with Shehu. I am putting it to you that that is not true. You have shown love to her and she rejected you. That is why you are bitter and think she is in love with Shehu. Now the defense said no. You actually did make advances to her. She refused to accept it, and now you are bitter and you are accusing that she is in love with Shehu. There is no truth in that, and please don't accuse me. I don't accept that. Abbacarr said. Do you have any proof? Yes, I have a lot of proof. That proof is not before the court. The proof we have is that you gave money to your agent and your financial admin signed to show that the money is given to your supplier, and that's before the court as Exhibit P77. That is not true. When Adolf was giving this money to my agent to give to Shehu, Shehu himself called me when I refused giving the agent the physical money. This is the small amount. This is a small amount that I should give it to her, and according to Exhibit P77, the first accused is the supplier. Is his name on the document? No, but he was the one who supplied me. What you are saying is not true. In my life, I just did this business within 3 months, and only Shehu supplied me. I put it to you that that's not true. Have a true signed agreement with Gampetroleum is one of the tenders required you had with GNPC. Yes, I put it to you that the tender agreement you had with Gampetroleum is Exhibit P2, which is the same as P73. Yes, it is correct that the tender agreement Exhibit P2 and P73 contain the term and condition between GAT and GP. Yes. Is it true that Exhibit P2 and P73 acquire the payment of throughput for fees or charges for each uplift made from GP as per Article 22.1? If at all I had brought in petrol to the depot, I would pay, but I did not. Shehu was the one who supplied me. What truck did the first accused use to supply you, and what is the driver's name? I have the list. Shehu gave it to me. It's on my phone, which the vehicle number, but I cannot confirm the name of the driver. That list happened when GNPC called me that the letter I had written to release GP said they have taken all. I called Shehu. I could not get him. I went to the office and he told me that the fuel I had asked them to release have all gone. He called one Lamin Toure and ask whether GNPC has received all fuel. That at that time he show me the proof that they have received fuel. That was how I got the list. Again, the prosecution should have established this. How did you see? Remember at the beginning I said if theft is to be proven, the entire transaction have to be grounded and to be understood. Now this thing did not happen, and this is what loophole again, or whatever it is the defense is talking about. How did you receive the petrol, or how DNPC received the petrol? That should have been established. You know, all fuel brought in this country are stored at GP. I don't know. I am putting it to you that all delivery notes you use to uplift are directed at GP. You see, now he said that he's an international businessman. He went into this business and he said that he does not know that all fuel goes to GNPC. Yes, I know. Then why did you say that? Why didn't you say that before? Because I did not understand the question. Okay, take a look at Exhibit P75 and P76. Yes, they are letters written to GP. These are the delivery notes you sent to Gampetroleum, which they used to uplift fuel from GP. These are the documents I sent to GP through first accused of supply GNPC. These documents are not directly for your company. They are presented by GNPC to GP so that they can uplift fuel from GP. You see, the guy doesn't understand what was going on with the supplies. This is why, again, GNPC was wrong to give him a contract. What I know is that after my company wrote this and gave it to my agent, who gave it to first accused for him to release the product, he did. That's what I know. Mr. Jawara, your agent presented this document to GNPC, who in turn gave them to GP. My agent never told me so. I am putting it to you that GNPC is a government-owned company. I know it belongs to the government. It is correct that you had a license from government to import fuel? Yes. It is correct that before GNPC uplift any fuel at the request of your company by virtue of the delivery order issued by GATCH, you informed the first accused that you had arranged for 25,000 metric tons of petrol produce, which is set to arrive. I have never told him so. I think you stated that you were expecting the delivery. For what length, I don't know. You told Gampetroleum that you are making arrangement for shipment for fuel. What I told Sehu was that I have a facility of $6 million given to me by Megabank, and that I am ready to import fuel, so he should assist me, but not otherwise. You see, I did not hear that earlier. And now to say that you have a facility, but you have not ordered anything, and he said earlier that he ordered. I have remembered that, and I think people can remember that. Okay, I am putting it to you that this is not true. In fact, the arrangement you had with Gampetroleum was that since you are expecting a shipment, you will be allowed on credit for negative balance to GNPC, and when your shipment arrives, you will replenish in full all fuel up liter by liter. I remember that testimony again. Yes, this was our arrangement before then. He changed his mind and requested in cash. That was the money he asked me to transfer to Koringo, because at first I thought Koringo was the Senegalese. It is not correct that all the OMC deal with Gampetroleum through first accused. I don't know about the other OMCs. I only know about my agreement with first accused. And the emphasis here is first accused. And yes, as the manager of Gampetroleum. What about Gampetroleum? You see, this is the problem if you don't have competency to run something. Let's continue. And again, I have a document to prove that in fact, the letter, in fact, I would share that. The letter that was from Vista Bank did not guarantee that credit agreement. Did not guarantee that credit agreement. And I have the proof. Let's go on. I am putting it to you that the time you gave 221,000 and 58 million to your agent, these products have already been uplifted by GNPC from GP on credit. The first arrangement was liter by liter after he told me to give the money to my agent to give to him, first accused. Now you agree to pay money. Now you cannot exclude yourself if something is found to be wanting. That should be clear. That's why the prosecution too, to make sure that you were brought in not as a witness but as an accused person. That is not true. August he gave you that 300 metric tons. He said I should give it to him in cash, and then in September he said liter by liter, and October also came. He said I should pay September in cash to him. This is what was done for this amount. For the month of October, the 300 metric tons, the money was 221,000, and September was 58,900,000. The October was 800,000, which was paid to Gampetroleum direct from GNPC when the problem arose. Where were you present when the first accused was instructed by your agent? Like you said, Shehu himself told me that he instructed her. That was what happened. Take a look at Exhibit P2 and P73, Article 221.1. PW7 needed a read Article 22.1. So it is clear from this article as to how the payment should be done to GP, unless you have any letter from GP stating the contrary. Again, this is put to him. No, I did not have. The letter is talking about throughput payment and not product payment. Clause 22.1 does not make any mention of throughput payment, but all payments. What I understand from this agreement is that if I bring in my product and store it there, every month I pay as stored fees. I put it to you that all the petroleum products, include uplift by yourself, all pass through the control room, and before the control room supply any product, there must be a delivery note. This is a well-regulated procedure. I talked about this procedure again, and I said if the prosecutor want to prove anything, have to prove that the procedure was bypassed. And he went on to say that the procedure is there, but Shehu told me to pay the money to him, and he stole the money. Quote from Cherry, page 7. You have previously arranged for importation from the supplier in Dubai, who offered you a cheap price on basis of which you arrive at the bid price you offered for the tender. Not true. Is it correct that after you won the bid, is it correct that after you win the bid, the supplier disappointed you, which caused you to search for another supplier, that you sought to the first accused to find another supplier for you? That's not true. At one point, the first accused introduced you to one Idrissa Nyang, a Senegalese who operates petroleum company, and you entered a supply agreement with Channel, Petroleum and Petrochemical Storage Distribution Company for minimum of 25,000 liters, metric tons petrol on the 13th of October 2021. I did not know any Idrissa Nyang, and I know that company. I don't know that company. I have an agreement with many companies, so I cannot remember. Okay. And you told the first accused about this agreement. If it is PAP, he is the one who did the agreement, but that agreement did not materialize. Take a look at Exhibit DE 26. Yes, I have seen it. Tell this court who are the parties. Challenge Petroleum and Gach. Go to last paragraph. Who signed it? Myself and Idrissa Nyang. And it was dated 13 October 2021. Yes, and it is for 25,000 metric tons. Yes, that is correct. And this proves that you have been lying to this court. You see, either Abbacarr was ignorant of the business, and again this bringing that he goes to business to grab money, he goes to business to do it anyway, to grab money, and he was given this business and he didn't have the competency. Then GNPC have failed in their due diligence to make sure this happened, or he's a liar and he's a crook. Well, either way, look at it that way, it is here. Now it's proven that he have all these contacts and he did not come out with these contacts, and what happened. And for 25,000 metric tons, yes, that's correct. It is proven that you have been lying to this court. I am not lying. This was just an agreement, but it has not materialized, and it's not written here that 25 metric tons is on its way coming. Is it correct that to enable you to fulfill this financial condition for this importation, Vista Bank, October 2021, by an offer letter dated 22nd October 2021, granted Gach two facilities in the sum of $2 million and 10 million in your agent exhibit D20. Yes, this is my letter. It was my plan to bring in fuel. I have been honest to this court. I'm putting it to you that because you were unable to fulfill the facility agreement, that is why the importation plan failed. That is not true. He said that's not true. It is correct that it was because of the failure of the arrival of your promised fuel importation that Gampetroleum, represented by the first accused, informed you that they will not allow any other uplift of GNPC on your behalf, on your negative balance, unless they replenish the fuel previously taken by you liter by liter. That is not true. If that was the case, GNPC would have taken me to court because I signed the tender agreement with them. Sehu never told me that he was supplying on negative balance. I am putting it to you that it's not true. That is true. I am putting it to you that you were desperate to replenish your negative balance, and upon failure of your shipment, you look for an alternative supplier. You continue to pressure first accused, being your fellow Sarahule, to assist you with an alternative supply to replenish your negative stock. It is not true. It has never happened or told me that the fuel was negative, and I also gave him money which he said he received. I am putting it to you that all what you are saying is a lie. It is not true. I am putting it to you that part of the challenge you face was the price you received from your expected supplier in Dubai, on the basis of which you made your bid was no longer available at the price you initiated offers. Again, it comes to the bidding. Now, GNPC accepting a lower bid was really incompetent, and this might be again an issue of the person failure to deliver. Now the person becomes desperate, desperate, and he can easily fail to deliver the right thing by diluting the quality or getting into mucky deals that will bring disrepute and disruption to the supplies. This is what actually happened. Now, it is for the court prosecution to prove and for the court to bring out a verdict to give us the proof. All we can do is to go by what is going through the proceedings. I am putting it to you that in the meantime, the price in the international market had increased while the bid price they offered was below the market price. This is not correct. This would have created a huge loss of you had ordered fuel. That was why you could not import fuel. Check the Cherry P10. That is not true. If that was the problem, it would be between me and GNPC. That is why I am putting it to you that Idrissa Nyang continue to supply GNPC because you could not, since you always fail. That is not my business. I am putting it to you that the first accused never accepted owing or promising to pay you any money at any material time. But he took 221,000 and 58 million. Shehu Drame, if Shehu said, let him pay me, or I will say, if anywhere. You told this court that your lawyer, Ayub, and you went to Gampetroleum or the OMC to negotiate the negative balance owed to GP. Yes, I did. I am putting it to you that that's not true. And in fact, you went with me and your lawyer to negotiate the negative balance you owe GP. I never owe GP any negative balance. I gave the money for the first accused to pay my product. And if I am negative balance, on negative balance, it's because he did not pay. Also, my lawyer can confirm that I went with him and Badu Conte, a joint agreement which I refuse. Badu Conte, that will be all for this witness, my lady. Cross-examination and Mbalo. You see, again, prosecution failed to re-examine the witness, and they should have done that. There are certain areas they need to come back, but again, they just want the case to flip over. Guys, that's the end of the testimony. It's been a long one. It's 3 hours. I did not want it to be that long, but it was a long one, and I have to complete it. Thank you very much, and I hope Gambians would take this seriously and look into this. This case should not be end of the Gampetroleum trial. And Gampetroleum need to be investigated, not the Gampetroleum itself, the whole value chain needed to be investigated and regulated well. Thank you very much, guys, and have a good day. Thank you.